the Tate guys, they popularized like this force induction of virality.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by that because and you see Hollywood's trying to do it. Like everyone's controlling our narratives. Mm-hmm. And like it kind of makes me go crazy, which is I get I start hating content because I'm a part of the thing. Like I know that if I said the same message in a certain way and I posted it 1,000 times, I will make that message popular. There's no world where I think you would make less money if you didn't make more videos.
On today's podcast, we have a very special guest, somebody that is able to see where the market goes before it gets there. It's a skill. It's almost like a Jedi power. My next guest is Mr. Ryan, the Disruptor, Magin. You'll find out why the name Disruptor is perfect for this guy. It's a word that he uses to describe himself. He is the OG of TikTok videos. This man has built an empire before anybody knew you could build an empire online. YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. His theory? Post at least 10 times a day, every day, for 90 days, and your life will change. Please welcome to the show the Disruptor himself, Mr. Ryan Magin.
Welcome to the AJ Buckley Show, don't you know? He's totally kidding unless you're serious. Let's get delirious. Welcome to the AJ Buckley Show.
Dude, welcome to the AJ Buckley Show.
Well, dude, thanks for having me. I'm I told you when I walked up, I was like, I had a little fanboy moment. I've watched all seasons of SEAL Team, honestly, probably in the background as I'm editing and building my company. Cause I love shows like that. Lioness, SEAL Team, I'm like, these are so cool.
It was a special time, man. And you appreciate it more so even after it. And with TV and stuff, it has because people are still discovering the show. Mm-hmm. Like it's now going to Netflix, so it'll start airing on Netflix. So it's been on Paramount for 8 or 9 years, and the audience there is very specific. Mm-hmm. So there'll be this whole resurgence of, new viewers and stuff like that. But again, it was such a blessing. 8 years of going to set, working with, tip of the spear, special operators, and guys that were, been on the Bin Laden mission, and guys that were, I hadn't shot a gun prior. I shot like a Glock, but my first day on set, I was shooting a 249 and 5.56. I was just like, this is insane. And then flying around a Blackhawks. Like I would FaceTime my kids when I was in Serbia to say goodnight, and I'd be on a Blackhawk. At first they were just like, well, my dad does crazy stuff.
He's so cool.
But it was a blessing, man. It's always cool to hear people like that or meet people along the way. Most people too, when they meet me, they're like, "You don't have a Texas accent." I'm like, "No, I'm actually an Irishman. I'm from Dublin, Ireland originally." And it takes them a second. They're like, I feel like I've been duped, man. You're not a Texan. You're not Sonny Quinn.
I mean, it's fascinating too. Like obviously, meeting you now and see you on the screen, because I feel like there's this the cultural arc of because that was Hollywood produced, and I feel like the world we live in right now, everybody is trying to play a character.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's best for everybody.
Yeah.
Cause I have questions. I'm like, well, do people call you Sonny? Do you lose your identity as yourself? Because you did, was it 8 seasons?
8 seasons. Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And you played such a great character that
you kind of become it. And honestly, my wife I'd be rehearsing my lines, mm-hmm. and, I would come into the kitchen and I'd say, "Hey baby, I'll have some steaks and and she'd be like, "Babe," I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're talking like Sonny." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Anyways, I'll have some steaks," and I would just be like, or you would just get into it. And it's like this. There was a guy on our show that was on the teams, Goldie, who's Red Squadron, and Goldie, and then there's another Navy SEAL guy, Ray Cash, mm-hmm. and those are two team guys that. I kind of studied for the character, but Goldie was in the book No Easy Day, which the show was based on. And when I got to meet him, he's like 6'4", big dude, like huge beard and sort of this like larger than life guy. And I was like, oh, that's Sonny. So I just started watching him and how he started thinking that's where the sort of character came alive. And you know, the showrunners wrote like such a great character for me. And you're truthfully only as good as the people you're surrounded by. But man, it was if I was to say like the most fun I've ever had on a show, and it was, the memories I have are just unbelievable. It was the highlight of, it's gonna be a tough one to beat. Isn't it weird in life how life imitates art and art imitates life? I played a ghost facer on Supernatural, one of the greatest ghost hunters of all time. And now I'm sleeping in a ghost bed, a ghost facer in a ghost bed, having the best dreams of his life. Part of the reason why I feel like I haven't caught any ghosts is because ghosts come out at a certain time of night. I'm asleep. I don't even get bothered by the ghosts because I'm off in dreamland. Before, when I was on a little crappy mattress in a haunted mansion, I'd wake up because I was uncomfortable. Now that doesn't happen. Now I'm off to sleep, and anything spooky, it ain't bothering me. Continue on, spirits. Continue on. Go to ghostbed.com/Buckley. Code word Buckley. Get yourself 10% off. Do what any good ghost facer would do, or any fan of Supernatural, because this sleep is so good, it's supernatural. For sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And you did cool stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know, in a Black Hawk helicopter, like, you know, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was one of the most like accurate depictions.
It is. So it's the most successful military drama of all time. And it's because of the way the producers ran it was Chris Julak, who was one of our executive producers and directors. He basically put the team guys in charge. So they were with the guest directors that would come in. There was a chain of command. Usually the director is like the top of the food chain, but if they didn't do it the way that the team guys did it, they wouldn't shoot it that way. Also, the show was, I don't know if you noticed, it was only shot from our POV. So we never were with the bad guys. You're always with us, which that had never been done before. But down to, you know, how the kits looked, all the detail, you know, that one of the guys, Justin Melnick, and you know, Tyler Gray and all these other guys. Tyler was former Delta. Like, we had the tip of the spear that were there. And they pushed back when the studio was like, no one's going to care about that, the detail. And they're like, everyone that will care about the show at the beginning, if we don't do it right, we're going to lose them. And you want them. And I remember Tyler saying, all we want the military community to do is not hate the show.
Yeah.
And as long as they don't hate it, and then once it sort of took off and we got to really get into, which I'm most proud about the show, we got to get into the, you know, the TBI and all the PTSD and the breakdown in communication for the VA and what the guys go through coming home and divorce rate. And we got to tell that story. It wasn't so much about the battlefield, but it was the battle at home. That to me, if I was to look back at the show, the stuff that we got to explore with the intricacies of the characters and how hard the families have it, that no one really talks to, especially like even more so now post SEAL team. You know, I still do a lot of work with Hope for Warriors and the Gary Sinise Foundation, and just seeing what the families, what they go through, the sacrifices the mothers and the wives have to make, and the kids, and especially if their dad gets killed and what that, like, it's just, there's so much that goes on. And I'll say this, you know, the military is really good at going to war. What they're not good at is taking care of the guys when they come home. So
that went to war.
Yeah. So and that's what, you know, one of the promise of myself with this show was to really, you know, any foundation, anybody that's in the military that has, if I can help in any way, you know, raise money, bring awareness, that was sort of an embedment into the show of getting the honor to portray these guys. But enough about me and my career. I mean, we
I
did
still
a
have
whole,
more questions. We can circle back. I have
for
so many questions.
But man, so it was probably a year ago I came across your TikTok stuff, and it just, what I'm more blown away by anything is that the world that we live in now and how much everything has changed. Influencers have now become, they're making more money than our top box office people. But there's people that do it right, and then there's people, like you said, are playing a character or that are false. And I feel like you can, after the second or third video of watching somebody, you're like, something's off.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And what really drew me in about your stuff, and even meeting you today, is you're such a transparent guy, you know, and it comes across in the videos. And that's why I was like, then I started researching your story, and I was like, man, this is a fascinating story. So before we get into all the TikTok stuff, I kind of want to just like rewind it a bit and go back to, where were you born?
I'm a native St. Peter. Like, well, I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida. Grew up in Largo, Florida, and now I live in St. Petersburg, Florida again with my fiance. We've been together a long time. We kind of just call each other husband and wife. We're probably going to take that next step soon. We've had multiple, like, as we'll probably talk about, like life events that have happened that have kind of pushed that back. But yeah, I mean, I met her. I moved to the downtown area, you know, and kind of like the way St. Petersburg and like the area is. It's like when you move to downtown St. Petersburg, you're kind of moving away. Like, and that's kind of how, because I moved away and I lost a lot of my friends that just didn't want to drive 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You know,
that's far, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's really far.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, so I kind of had to, you know, I built a new life in the downtown area, and I was, you know,
Is this when you're doing BMX and stuff?
Yeah. So before BMX, I was a retail employee for, I mean, I graduated high school in 2001, and I was, you know, my parents kind of wanted me to go to college because that was what you do. But I didn't really fit the normal college mold. So I went to an art school, which actually went out of business. Probably
because of you?
I don't know, you know, but funny enough, like, you know, I graduated with like a 3.9 GPA. I was really solid on education and always enjoyed reading books, and, you know, but I was always more creative. I was very into like computer animation and graphics. This is like when Disney was kind of in its first boom. And I was like, yo, that sounds cool. I'll just make cartoon characters. Yeah. So that was like what I chose to go to school for. You know, fast forward, I don't use any of this school for. Yeah. But, you know, I lived a 2-year AA degree in computer animation. I learned Photoshop in there, which did come in handy. And now we have AI for everything, so you don't need to use Photoshop anymore. But that helped me along the way. But right out, like, before I started college, I was 18. And I needed, you know, I had to basically pay, you know, I had like a 50% scholarship. So, you know, my parents, you know, we weren't, you know, well off, you know, but my dad did very well. He was an entrepreneur. My mom had a job. Like, I wasn't struggling in any way, shape, or form financially. But I kind of believe, like, I had a job when I was 16. I went to work at
Lowe's?
No, well, 16, I worked at a bike shop because I was but then I left the bike shop and went to Lowe's. And Lowe's was it. I have no bad things to say about Lowe's as a retail employee. They gave me the 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift, you know, 5 days a week because I was going to school in the morning. But I was starting the seasonal department, which was like the lawnmowers. And pretty quickly into like working there, even though I was kind of part-time, full-time, like, you got commission selling lawnmowers. And I was like, and I only discovered this because, like, the people that are making commission, they don't really do it anymore. I don't know how Lowe's and Home Depot works now, but this is, you know, 20 years ago. It was like a percentage of the sale, obviously. And to get the position sales spots, you had to like have tenure. You had to be there a little bit. But if you just happened to ring things up, you got commission anyways. So I just
figured it out.
I was like, yo, this is a hack. I can sell lawnmowers, and then I can walk over and I can sell them their appliances, and I can sell them their. So I was probably the worst employee for being in my department because I was walking with these people and the customers all over the store, and then I'd walk up to checkout, I'd help them load their bags.
Like, and you're so sweet, son.
Yeah, and they're like, can you give him 5 stars? He's amazing. But I learned, like, I started making commission, and I was in that ended up like basically paid for, college, like it helped me pay for college. And then I graduated, and part of the original thing was, we would place you at a job, doing your degree. And they offered me my first job out of college, it was actually an internship at like an animation company. But it was free. It was an unpaid internship. And because Lowe's did do a good job at recognizing younger talent, they plucked me to I actually moved stores to, another one in my local area that was being built, and went to their door and window department.
And how old are you at this time?
This is like 21, 20, 21, 22. And I started selling doors and windows, and those were all commission based. And I was like a $35,000 a year salary. It was 50 hours a week, like 48 hours a week, salaried employee. But I was, had nothing else to do. I lived at home with my parents, Like I had graduated. I was basically living for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night to go out with my friends. And I was started making not like so much commission, but I was doing like $60,000-$70,000 a year. And so basically I turned down the internship and I was like, yo, let's see where this Lowe's thing can take me.
So you basically got an understanding of what people now, like, what do they call HCG?
UGC?
UGC.
Yeah, UGC creators, yeah.
So you were like, that was kind of like, you were the OG back then of like, not knowing where you're about to go, but that was what it was.
And it was a lot of, like Lowe's like I was fortunate because they you know, bigger retail, I don't know if it's like this now, but they recognized young talent. And talent as in like, oh, this person, he's motivated, he's got charisma, he can sell, he can lead people, he can talk. And I didn't identify as any of that back then, but I clearly had the qualities that they saw that. So they sent me through like management training. And, you know, I mean, I worked at Lowe's, I think 9 years.
There's a guy like, one of these days, this building could be yours.
Yep. He's like, you could be a store manager someday. And I was like, how much do store managers make? He's like, roughly, you know, $150K, $200K a year plus bonus. And I was like, as a 22-year-old,
that's a lot of money.
I'm like, yo, let's roll. You know, but I ended up going through management training, and then they brought me in to like give me an interview to take another management position. But I would have to move about 45 minutes away from where I was, and that was not uncommon. They were going to pay for the move, and you know. But I was like, "What's the salary? You know, what are we talking here?" Because mind you, I'm making like 35,000 salary, but I was doing double that in commission. And they're like, "Well, we're going to start you at like 45,000, real good opportunity plus a bonus." I said, "What's the max bonus I can get on top of that 45?" And it ended up being like 55K at the end of the year. And I said, "I'm already making more than that now. I don't want it." And they're like, well, what do you mean you don't want it? I said, I'm already making that now. Like I'm making more than that. And now I have to add a responsibility of all this. No. And then, so they were kind of bummed out that, you know, that I didn't want to take that.
He's not a lifer.
Yeah. And then, so then I started interviewing like internally, like all the people in the bigger positions. And like kind of analyzing my life at like 24, 25 years old to like this person. And I was like, yo, like, I don't like his life. I don't like his life. And not that their life was bad. They might have been happy, but I was like, I don't really want that. Like they're here all the time. They never leave here. And as I said that as I was working 10-hour shifts and like, you know, but I was like, yeah, maybe that's not the right thing for me. And then I just so happened, you know, I've been riding BMX since I was 6 years old. And, you know, at 24, 25.
Was Rad your favorite movie?
Rad's my favorite movie by
One
far.
of my favorite movies.
BMX Bandits, Rad.
Rad's so good.
I mean, I like...
And Gleaming the Cube.
Yep. And I also like the Brink.
Brink?
The Disney movie.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that
good.
movie, like Brink was an incredible movie. But, you know, I went to the, you know, and I was doing I was riding my bike, getting better, you know, didn't really have the dreams of being a pro BMX racer.
Were you on like a Mongoose or were you?
I mean, I like standard bikes. They were like, they're still around today, one of the few. But like, you know, really the bikes had evolved so much too. But I went to the national championships and I think I got like second place in the final, which qualified me. They qualified the top three to five people. You got the invite. Hey, if you want to turn pro, you're allowed. They don't even have that anymore. They just let anybody do it if they want to. But I came back and I was like dealing with like, I didn't really want to do the management path at Lowe's. Didn't really know what to do. And I was like, cool. Well, so I went and I tried to do the right thing, talk to Lowe's and be like, hey, I want to make a run at being a pro BMX racer, but I might need more weekends off. And that's like the kiss of death in retail. You work weekends. And they really, and I don't blame them. They're like, hey, Ryan, we can't do that. Like, you know, it's just not possible. And I was like, okay. So, and me being a very direct type of person, I was just like, all right, well, we had a good run. And I think it was a week later and I quit. And and they were like, dude, you got to put in your 2 weeks. I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, I'm burning the boats. I was like, I don't want to burn the ships. I don't want to come back here. And, you know, so I quit. And, you know, because I was there, like I worked there from like 18 to almost like 27, 28 or so. I forget the exact days. But I had like 9 years of 401k because I was putting money in 401k since day one.
Wow.
It was about $20,000 saved up in my 401k. Because they matched back then. I don't know if they still do that now, but they were very, you know, generous on that. So I just took the big tax hit, cashed out 401k. It was like, I think I got like 14,000 straight to the bank account. And I was like, cool. I was like, I'm rich now. Let's go ride bikes. And, you know, I actually moved out of my parents' house at that time too, which in hindsight wasn't the best idea if I was planning to live on $14,000. But I was able to, you know, travel around, ride my bike. And then money.
Do you ever, not to cut you up, do you ever think about, I always reminisce on this, is like like even just saying there how like your eyes light up going like that 14 grand, like the things later on in our life now that like I wish those like that curiosity and like I'm good. Like the world is my oyster, like that fearlessness, like still being fearless now, but it's a different, we've battle scars. We're sort of, you know, a little long in the tooth, but do you ever look back to that, like that fire that like,
I do.
Where did that come from?
Well, I feel like extreme sports in general. And I picked up a BMX book from the library at 6 years old, and I saw a guy jumping, doing like a tabletop on the cover. And I'll never forget that book. And when any type of extreme sport, you're kind of a loner. Like it's not a team sport.
Yeah.
And I was early on, I actually tore my ACL at like 16 years old. Sorry, I'm nicotine cough. But I can't stop coughing.
Oh,
but
okay.
So I tore my ACL, and I was like, oh, well, I can't do any team sports because I couldn't have surgery because my growth plates weren't fused yet.
Yeah.
And
take your time if you need to take it.
Yeah. But sorry, I'm so wildly addicted to nicotine pouches. It's probably unhealthy at this point.
So how many you do a day?
Oh, and I'm not a pack a day guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take every 2 or 3 days. I have to get a new refill.
Yeah,
but
that's not bad.
Nah, like I'm not.
I've seen people who have like 3 or 4 in their mouth.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's rough.
I've had it where I remember first time I tried. I think were you here, Sean, when I tried the first one? I don't know. Man, I was like at first like, whoa, this is a rush. This feels good.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I think I'm going to throw up.
I started low. I started at the 3s, and now I'll never go above 6. Those people are crazy. If you're above 6, you're a psychopath. But I appreciate you. But yeah, so I tore my ACL, and I was too young to get it repaired because my growth plates. I was kind of a late bloomer, if you will. I grew like 6 inches out of high school, and so that ruled out like all team sports. Like, and I was genuinely interested in like basketball and so I ran track, but I was more interested in like the 100 and the 400 meter because because that was easier for me to do, and because of BMX, I was more sprinter oriented. I wasn't really a long distance.
Yeah.
But when all that was kind of wiped off the table and I was just left with my bike, and they gave me one of those CTI knee braces, and they're like, dude, you're good. Like, you're fine. Like, and that's where I got really interested in fitness. Cause I kind of rehab wasn't really that great back then.
Yeah.
And so I researched alternative, like, I started like dragging sleds and all kinds of different stuff. Like before it was kind of like, now it's like the standard.
Yeah.
And then prior to that, riding bikes, you spend a lot of time on your bike by yourself. Yeah. And just like if you're a skateboarder, you spend a lot of time on your skateboard and you're by yourself. So I became very self-driven, and I didn't really need a lot of external support or like, not that I didn't enjoy having people, but like, I'd spend hours building jumps in the woods by myself. So when that came to, if I look at that later in life, a lot of what I do, I don't like doing things that require me to be reliant on other people.
100%.
And again, I love having a team and people that I can support and that support me. But like at the end of the day, if everybody left me, I'm still all right. I'll figure it out. Like, and that I do think that type of extreme sport mentality. Yeah. And also is a mixture of we jumped big stuff. Like
it's a game of like the risk you have to take and the belief in yourself at the level at the top of the game is a game of inches. Like there's one dude that's worked a little bit harder than you that landed it in practice or has the balls to actually attempt something that's going to be ahead of you. Like there's people I've seen in the extreme sports or just in sports in general or life in general, actually, now that I think about it, there's that one dude that has been so disciplined within his training, his thing, and it's that guy that's gonna. Yep. And that's where you have to evaluate. Like, am I ever gonna be that guy?
And like so, like I do credit a lot of like business success now to like just the sheer hours of being by myself or me with one friend, like. And then there's something about like I'm sure it's like when you're going for a big hit in football, like anybody that does something like where you're kind of putting yourself in danger. Yeah. And you're willingly doing it. Like you develop a really high risk tolerance. Yeah. Like, cause I remember going to tracks and the tracks have gotten a lot, they've kind of tamed down lately, but this is when like, BMX was on the cusp of being the Olympics and these hills were huge and the jumps were no middles, 30, 25, 30 feet. Like, and you're doing it with 8 other guys next to you. That's like, you got to be a little psychopathic. I don't know, like to do that. So,
Yeah.
but that has helped me so much with being able to like tolerate risk, tolerate being uncomfortable for extended periods of time, and then even injuries. Like I didn't, ACL was probably one of the worst, but like I wasn't really, I was fortunate I didn't get too injured. But like every time I got on that track or I tightened my shoes, I could get injured.
Oh yeah,
severely.
Yeah,
and
any given Sunday, so
yeah,
as they say. Yeah,
and that when I look at it now to like building businesses and like being making videos, it's like there's not a lot of risk in doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not gonna die. I'm not going to get really hurt by doing this. So like, I think that mentality, and I've talked to a lot of, Mikey Taylor, he's a big pro skater. I met him at an event not too long ago, and we kind of had this similar like interaction. And I was like, when you practice something or like ride a line hundreds of times just to get it perfect.
Yeah.
And it's just like the first time you land a kick flip, how many fails?
Yeah.
Like you just get numb to the getting back up. And you're like, no, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to try it. I got to keep going.
Do you find that with the generation now, especially the world that you're more so immersed in, the lack of how quickly people get discouraged with failure and how they're just like it rattles them. They don't want to. They're like, I can't do it again. I'm embarrassed. It's like, and I'm like, what is wrong with like? When did you get so soft? Like. Get back up and get after it.
Yeah, I see it now. I hate to pick on Gen Z a little bit, like, but
I have no problem picking on it.
Yeah, it's like there's a level of entitlement that I see now, and just like you said, like a work ethic. I'm like, I had a job at 15 that I rode my bike to.
Yeah,
and we didn't even have cell phones. Like we barely had cell phones back then. I mean, I had a pager at one point.
I love my pager.
Yeah, I
had a chain on it and everything.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
The different color cases.
Yeah, it was so cool.
And like I look at it, like I would come home from school at like 2:00 and I would ride my bike until 8 p.m. Some days by myself, some days with a couple other friends. And we'd have like no communication with our parents all day. And then somehow we'd safely get home. Yeah. And I look at that now and I'm like, my daughter's 10 and I'm like, yeah, you ain't doing that.
Oh, I'm terrified.
Yeah. Where are you going? Who are you with? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to put a tracker on you. Like, so I do think that, old man generation now, like I think it's lacking a lot in the world, and especially just everything is so, it's like coddled. Like even like, you can't even choose who you're watching now because the algorithm tells you.
Yeah.
You can't like, it's like you're being advised by everybody. It's like, there's no real like, I need to figure this out on my own. Yeah. Even if it sucks and I'm going to get hurt or I'm going to experience like duress.
That dopamine hit, which is also built into the edits and stuff, which we'll get into in a second, but that the inability to, if I can't get this instantly, if I can't get it right now, I'm moving on.
Yep.
Or I'm just like, if you're asking them to do it again or something, like you can see it like in just like, you see in the service industry or whatever, like people are checked. Like, these kids are checked out.
Yeah,
like there's no like, hey, I want to, I want to be proud of the work that like my dad's hammer right there. So
that thing's been used.
Yeah, and so at the bottom it was a quote he always said to me. It says, "Son," I remember the day when he was building something, and I kind of had taken some shortcuts. I just asked me. My dad was an amazing builder, and I like swept some stuff under these bricks, and I kind of put like things over it. And I remember I was like 10 years old, and I was like, oh, and my dad was like. He didn't say anything. He's like, oh, he says, this is good. He's like, you proud of this? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you proud of the work you've done here? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you seem a little unsure. And he goes, the amount of time that it took for you to hide that, you could have done.
Could have cleaned it up.
You could have done that and 10 other things.
Yep.
He's like, at the end of every job, you need to like look at it and go, I'm proud of this. I want to put my name on this. Yep. And he always like, and that's what it says underneath the hammer is be proud of the work you've done, son. And like my dad's, that hammer there, he built, I don't know how many houses, and it's got like his fingerprints on the paint. It's like a really powerful, I always remember that's his tool belt. His ashes are over there. But he was just such a stud. That whole generation's a diff, like that's.
Yeah, I'm not that tough. I could try, but I'm not that tough.
It is though. It's like it's not so much that I worry about my kids because I feel like I'm doing a good job with them, but I see that like the lack of let's work the problem. Let's sit down and figure it out. It's like instantly, as soon as they hit a wall, they're like, I'm over here, and they won't complete the task. And I have ADD off the fucking charts. So I am if you look in the Wikipedia for ADD, it's like me, like, what's up, buddy? How you doing? I probably have the handlebar mustache too. It's like
with a rifle.
Yeah,
with a rifle.
like, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, I do see it a lot, especially working, like, because my thing is, I like figuring out loopholes and patterns, like, and I've done a lot of that. Even when I figured out TikTok early on, like, it was like, okay, if I keep people watching videos longer, they're gonna do better.
So was this during the hurricane when you figured that out?
No. So when I quit Lowe, became a pro BMX racer, actually, you know, my dad was a video editor, and my dad actually, he would install, they were called lipstick cameras.
Oh yeah.
Like he would install them on boats, cars, planes. He worked with like, you know, NASCAR. He got big in the aviation world. He was like, and then like I watched my dad, like GoPros became a thing, technology advanced, and GoPro put my dad's business out of business because, well, now you just get this little square camera and you put it anywhere.
Yeah.
You didn't need, like, cause he would like custom build these kits to put in there. And I always thought that was so cool. And then, you know, when GoPro took over, my dad pivoted and he's like, oh, well, I can, you know, I need to learn how to make the videos that are coming from the cameras instead of just getting the footage.
Do you think your entrepreneurial spirit and being able to pivot and read the play came from your pops?
Oh yeah. I mean, I credit my dad, you know, I mean, he's been an entrepreneur my whole life. He started a custom van shop.
No way.
Yeah. And
so this is in your DNA.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, it's like my dad, from the times I start remembering things, my dad would buy 2 vans and like cut them in half and then make them longer, and they created what was called a limo max.
No way.
Which was a van.
I used to love those things.
Yeah, a van limo, and he was big on like the custom van circuit magazines.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So like, yeah,
like Low Rider magazine.
Yeah, it's like they had like, it'd be like this like 80s big haired woman in like a nice cool custom van,
like the A-Team looking thing.
Yeah, he made a replica of the A-Team van.
That's so cool.
And then like he was contracted to do like bulletproof vans for like the Japanese at one point. So like. And then so he did that before the camera stuff, because that business actually failed, and I watched him reinvent himself into like the car stuff and doing the cameras.
That's where you got if you like get up and get after it. You lose and then you.
Yeah, you just, I mean, because I look back and my mom always had she had a, you know, her father was a cop. Like she had a very stable, like she was like, I want to be part of like the union or the city. And that's why my mom was super excited when I got the job at Lowe's, because they have a great retirement, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm quitting. I'm done. And I'm pretty sure.
And then moms just worry.
Yeah. And then she just like, wow, you're going to support yourself, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, my dad was always like, that's cool. Like, you know, so, you know, and I look even in my own relationship now, like Kristen, she has a very, like, she's a badass. Like she has a full on, like, she's like C-level or executive level. She does. She started in dialysis. Now, you know, she's a nurse, became a dialysis.
My wife's a nurse.
Yeah, and now she oversees infection control for the entire country.
My wife was in infectious disease too for the longest time. She worked at Cedars, and then she got now she's in dermatology.
Nice. Like I mean, so like her job is very stable.
Yeah,
and she has the insurance. You know, you know, which I don't take part. I've had it, like insurance to me is funny. I was like, I haven't had it for like 20 years. So I'm like, you know, but yeah, I see the polarizations, and you know, with my dad, but he started editing videos, and I never learned editing from my dad, which is kind of odd. Like people ask me that, and I'm like, no, I think I learned the art of editing from my dad because I would watch him stare at his computer in Final Cut Pro for hours.
And on Avid or
yeah, he was using Avid at the beginning, then it was Final Cut.
Yeah,
because you had to back then you had to buy Final Cut in the box at the Apple store.
Yeah,
you know, and so he would just edit these videos, and he'd just show me the final product. And he'd be like, and I'd be like, oh, that part was cool. And then he'd like show me the timeline and be like, that took me 6 hours. So I think you know, and then.
So that, because you have directors and you have actors and you got writers. If you don't have a good editor, it's over. Because the editor can objectively, the directors, they're so close to things, and the term that they use, they're like, it's called killing your babies. Like the editor will say, the scene is not working, but look at this. And we're going to take this part of the story out that you love, but it's going to connect the dots, and no one in the world will know this happened, but it makes the movie 100% better.
Yep.
Editors are the heartbeat of like the most important part of telling a narrative. And in your world that you live in now, that 10-second medium, 3-second medium to get them in is mind blowing.
Yeah, people just talk too much, dude. You got to cut all that shit out. you talk slow. but yeah. So I mean, I left Lowe's, did the BMX thing, and because my dad made videos, I was like, I read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and I was like, Dad, I got an idea. We're gonna get rich. I read this book. We're gonna work 4 hours a month or something. I don't want to like never done that ever in my life. Tim Ferriss, you're wrong. But I was like, yo, what can I make a DVD about? Because my dad made DVDs and he shipped them, so I had the tools available. I was like, what can I make a DVD about that will help people? And the first thing came out, I was like, well, BMX training. Like, so I was like, I BMX train. I'm training to be, I'm an active professional. And this is before, like, I mean, the internet was still very new. It wasn't like YouTube wasn't a thing.
You had the
yet.
dial-up sound like.
Yeah, it was past that. We still we had like a good connection. So I convinced my dad to, and at the time I read I met, he's a great friend of mine, Elliot Hulse.
Yeah.
We met through a forum for unorthodox training methods, which was run by a guy named Zach Evanesh. And, Elliot would like put a flyer in. He's like, I'm doing an underground strength training camp in St. Petersburg, Florida. Here's my flyer. What do you guys think? And I saw the flyer and I'm like, yo, this dude's here. And, my dad did travel a lot. So like, I kind of looked at, this guy, Elliot seems to have a lot of cool things going on. So I'm going to become his friend. So I became friends with Elliot, by going to his workout every Saturday. And to kind of impress him, I would take my truck and when I was working at Lowe's, training to become a BMX racer, I was making like $70,000 a year, and I didn't, other than drinking on the weekends, I didn't spend my money on anything except for gym equipment. Yeah. So I turned my parents' garage into like, a warehouse gym basically. And my mom hated it all because it was in the way of everything. And, Elliot was trying to open a gym. So I was like, look, if we can become friends, like I'll give you all this equipment and you can put it in your warehouse. Yeah. And he was like, okay. So, and we kind of,
we just become best friends.
Yeah. And so we was like, and we would just hang out at the gym all day. And, I was training BMXers on the side to make extra income. I was doing like, installing doors, and I was doing everything I could to make money to keep riding my bike. And he, at the same time, we both read the 4-Hour Workweek at the same time. And it turned into, we made a bet with each other for $100. Whoever could make a digital product faster would get the $100. And Elliot was teaching football players how to get stronger and bigger. So he wrote a PDF, a big file, and that was like his thing. And I'm like, well, I don't know how to write that well. And like, so I was like, but my dad makes videos, so let me do that. He ended up winning my $100 because I relied on my dad to help me make the DVD. It was a little slower than the PDF. But we launched them at the same time. And then I kind of just copied Elliot for a while. And Elliot was, he became huge on YouTube. He's got 2 channels with a million followers. And he was like, every day he would just make a video. Like, he's like, hey, I watched this guy, Gary Vee, said I should make videos. So he bought, like, we had flip cameras and like little handy cams. And, I bought one. And, so every day he would make a football video and I'd walk down to the gym and I'd make a BMX video, and then I started posting videos and some weird things started happening. One, I started disrupting the BMX world a little bit because I was the first pro to give away free training advice. And that pissed a lot of people off. And
really?
To a degree. I don't want to say it wasn't like everyone was out to get me. But like
it's like where the magicians show their this is how you do the trick.
Yeah,
which I love because I'm like, no way.
Yeah, it's like so I just started posting these videos, and it was to Vidler, which was not even like a thing anymore. And I only did Vidler because Gary Vee said that was the best one. Turns out he was an investor in it, and I learned it ended up going under. And had I been posting those videos, I put hundreds of videos on Vidler. If I would have posted those to YouTube like Elliot was, who knows if I'd be here today? It might have been a different path. But I was making these videos, and I, again, copied Elliot. And Elliot's like, you got to collect emails. And I was like, okay. So I created a faster first straight PDF that you can get for giving me your email. And then, that turned into, I built up an email list of like 10,000 people.
Wow.
And
people don't understand how, like, it's hard to do.
Yeah, it took forever.
Yeah, that is like.
And I coded the websites. Like I had to learn Dreamweaver. Like that's not even a thing.
Wow, I was gonna say that's a long time.
You had
ago.
to code your own websites back then, and
It's not like Foursquare now or whatever. It's
no, like Squarespace, just you hit a button, and it's
done.
a site. Like even like
that's what I'm saying. These kids don't know like they're like the cause and effect, and not to rest to that, but like when we were growing up, we had blocks, and we would have to we'd have to touch things, and you'd have to you'd feel things with your hands, and your brain's developing in a very specific way. I don't know if it's your frontal lobe or wherever it is, but you're picking up things, you're touching it, and then you're like actually physically. People now aren't interacting with it; they're just touching it. So there's a part of the brain that is it's not scientifically saying that we're not developing in the way that we're. I mean, people now, gamers have
dents in their head. Yeah.
Dents in their head.
Yep. Crazy.
I was like, that's not real. And that one dude on the
he showed the side
shut his head. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's wild.
Like we're morphing into these sloth, these which is almost when you if you
Wall-E.
Yeah, exactly.
We're turning into Wall-E.
It's so true, and it's but it's like physically getting in there and doing it is such a lost art. It's so go and get dirty. You need to go and get dirty. Fuck the hand sanitizer. Eat dirt. Eat twigs. Just be immersed in what it is. Stop this shit.
Yep.
So anyway,
I love that. I love that.
As we get older, it is so important to stay on top of our blood work. That's why I'm incredibly proud to have Pure RX, one of our sponsors of the show. Go to aj.purerx.co, type in time to shine in the notes, and you'll get 50% off your blood work. It's summertime. You want to go camping, you want to go off-roading. Get your truck a lift kit. Go to Total Off-Road. TJ and Dan are my guys here in Charleston. They're the best. Huge thank you to them for being sponsors of the show. You got a Paven Princess, head to Total Off-Road. Get your truck lifted like a real man.
I mean, so I built this email list, and I was emailing them training programs for free. And the weird thing and this is where I kind of learned the power of influence, if you will.
No, it's true.
Like I would go and arguably I was not a great pro BMX racer. I was good enough to win as an amateur, but not good enough to go to the Olympics and be an actual pro that made a lot of money, which puts you in a weird spot. But what I started to notice was when I go to the races, I'd be in the final, but I would not win the final. I would, and you had 8 chances, 8 people in the final. So I would get fifth or sixth. Yeah. But when they would announce the names before we, they always announce the names on the pros, and you ride down and ride back up. And I had a lot of crowd cheer. And what I noticed was that it wasn't from riders, it was from their parents. And I realized when I started doing research into my email list,
the moms, you were the hall pass. You were the hall pass.
Yeah, they were I was the one. I was talking to the parents. Yeah, and then that's when I realized, oh wow, okay, well, who has money? Well, the parents have money. Yeah, it's not the kids.
100%.
So that was just kind of a mindset shift. I'm like, okay, so I give this stuff away for free. I help them. They in turn support me. And I was able to, at its peak, my BMX, it's called BMX Strong. Yeah. Did about $3,000 a month. And I was able to use that money.
That's a lot of money.
And plus I did win some money, and I had
and this is sponsors. Too, this is back then when no one was doing that.
Nobody, and that's where I say, I kind of pissed off a lot of people, because there was a lot of, to get a BMX trainer, you had to spend a couple $100s a month, and you had to kind of be invited, and it was this gate-kept world. And a lot of the BMX trainers, which were basically trainers to the top pros, they made fun of me. They talked shit about me, and I just thrived on that. I was like, cool, hate me all you want, man. Yeah. But it was the first time of dealing with hate, but I was also, it was a greater good, where I was I was helping the people, because BMX is not a lucrative, a lot of high net worth people are not racing BMX. So it's I was helping families do their kids. I was helping dads train their sons, moms train their sons. I was so I just did that. And then it did get to a point where I was okay, I had hit a market cap. There's not a huge market for BMXers to get faster. And I also learned really quickly that BMXers don't want to get strong. They just want to ride their bike more. Yeah. So I learned message market fit pretty quickly. Yeah. And I got to a point I was and I just cold turkey quit. I was this isn't going anywhere. At least I've done a lot. I'm happy with this. And then I kind of spiraled for about a year of not knowing what to do. Still remain friends with Elliot. And I'm grateful for him to kind of like, give me some guidance.
Yeah.
But he
This
was
when the Jersey Shore.
yeah,
thing?
this is the next step.
Yeah.
So
Dude, this is fascinating.
yeah. So the next step was, I looked at, again, I like to look at the assets I have available to help me accomplish whatever task I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I had an email list, which I knew was parents, and they liked my training advice. So maybe they would like it if I helped them with workouts.
Yeah.
And so back then there was like kind of this like underground network of fitness influencers.
Is this like would this be at the start of like Gymshark days?
No, this is still before Gymshark.
Yeah.
There was like if you had a big email list and you made fitness programs, everyone emailed their lists at the same time for a person's program.
And this is before junk mail.
Yeah. It was starting to catch up, but you could get away with a lot.
Yeah, you could get away with
and so I was like, okay, and there was people's training programs that I genuinely liked, and they had affiliate commissions.
Yeah.
You sell my $47 workout program on this thing called ClickBank, and you made $31 for every one that you sold. And I was like, okay, so I was a daily emailer, from a more personality base. Like I'm like, I'd be, hey guys, I woke up and I rode my bike for an hour this morning. I did this, and this. So it was more like daily vlogging.
It was part of your
path. It was part of my journey.
Yeah.
And so I announced to the list, I was like, hey guys, I'm getting out of BMX, but I'm going to continue to give fitness advice here. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. But what I found was there was a loophole, and I didn't realize I found a loophole because one of my friends, his name was Jason Ferrugia. He's big online, big fitness guy. He created a new program called Triple Threat Muscle. And I'm like, okay.
Was that the time under tension?
Yeah, it was like half the programs, like everything works as long as you do something.
Yeah.
But I was like, he reached out to me. He's like, hey, this could do well with your more athlete-based email list. So like maybe give it a try, sell it. I'm launching it on this date. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the best job I can on this launch. Because the product goes for sale at like $37 for this 7 days, and then it raises $20. And, I knew there was going to be a lot of hype around it because there's a lot of emails being said about it. And, so I was like, well, what's an easy hack to get more views or sales in this case? So I'm like, well, that name's kind of complicated. So maybe they'll misspell it.
Yeah.
So I bought triplethreatmuscles with an S.com. And then we had sites called WordPress. WordPress is still a thing today. But they're like one button, you can install a site, and it was a blog. So I was like, okay, let me do a review of this program. So I made a few videos of me trying out the workouts. I embedded them on the page. I wrote about what I was experiencing, and then that was a post. And then I was like, so for like a week leading up to the launch, I had 7 different blog posts that I was emailing my email list to, hyping up this launch. Well, the product went for sale, and I made like $1,000 in like an hour. And I was like, whoa, what happened here? And I could not figure it out because I'm like, my list isn't that big to be driving that many numbers. Well, like somebody emailed me like, oh, I'm so glad I found this on Google. And I was like, Google? Like, what do you mean you found this? Like, I mean, obviously I knew about SEO, but I'm like, wait, this isn't my product. But what I found was they put so much emphasis on the email list that my website, if you Googled Triple Threat Muscle, my page was all of page 1.
Wow.
So everyone, because of the hype, was Googling Triple Threat Muscle review, Triple Threat Muscle scam, Triple Threat Muscle this, and they were finding my site.
Yeah.
And I had a really good site that sold the product really well. And I think I made a couple $1,000s on that launch. And to the point where like Ferrugia reached out to me like, hey, how did you make these sales? Because I know like you didn't have that big of an audience.
What is this sorcery you're doing?
And I told him, and he's like, can you do this for my next product? Like, so he just like encouraged it. But I went back and I started thinking, I was like, okay, so this worked for a fitness program. Once I find a repeatable thing I can do, just like making videos, I'm like, there's no limit. So I'm like, okay, so what's the next thing? And I happened to be watching Iron Man 1 in the movie theater, and MTV ran a trailer for Jersey Shore. And I looked at it and I was like, all these guys are jacked. The Situation guy's got some pretty good abs, not gonna lie. And like Ronnie's got some abs. The girls are toned. Yeah. I was like, I bet one of them's gonna make a workout program at some point. So from the movie theater, and I'll never forget this night, I bought JerseyShoreAbs.com, JerseyShoreAbs.org.
Are you serious?
I bought thesituationworkout.com, thesituationworkout.
So was this before, was GoDaddy that
Yeah, it was. I used Domains in Seconds, which ended up was a subsidiary of GoDaddy, which has been bought. They've been, but either way, I just went down the line.
Because it's only been in the last couple of years of like, oh, you got like, because you'll come up with like I'm like, I got the best name for a company, and then they're like, did you check to? Like,
is it available?
Yeah, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, and everything's not available. But the fact that you like saw that.
Well, and then from the movie theater, because at this point we had iPhones, I logged into my Domains in Seconds account and I bought all these. I spent like $300 sitting in the movie theater at the beginning of Iron Man 1.
Just on a hunch that the bell curve is you're gonna meet it somewhere.
And I did just like I did with Triple Threat Muscle. I went home that night and I just installed WordPress blog, and I kind of made a post, like an announcement post, this site is coming, which was at this point I realized I was doing SEO. So like I learned about SEO, the gray world of SEO.
Had they given it that term yet, SEO, or no?
Yeah, it was called search engine. It was,
but it wasn't like like a topic people are like SEO.
Yeah,
like
it was
now.
It was not as common as it was now.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was like known by like weirdos like me that are buying domains like that in a movie theater. Yeah. But
you pervert.
So like these abs. But I installed WordPress and I copy and pasted this post across. I probably had like 5 to 10 different domains for Jersey Shore, and I called it like a campaign. It was a Jersey Shore campaign, and honestly, I kind of forgot about them, and I let them sit, and then I started seeing more advertisements for MTV. I was like, oh, the show's going to start Thursday night, 8 p.m. So I didn't even go hard. I just wrote one really good. It was about 3,000 words of like a hypothetical workout that they would have done to look like that.
Yeah.
And I did have a lot of training knowledge, and I knew what I was doing. And I was confident, okay, this is good. And throughout that article on all the sites, I linked off through affiliate products. And sure enough, like I'll never forget it. Like I used to hang out at a restaurant called Wing House, which is no longer in they just went out of business, but like it's like a Hooters. And I went up to Wing House on Thursday night. They actually had Jersey Shore playing in there. Watched the the episode, and then ClickBank. I logged into the site, which is all the products were sold through ClickBank, and every Thursday for about a year, it was like $2,000-$3,000 every Thursday. They would watch the show. Google Mike the Situation Sorrentino's workout, find my site. Snooki's workout, find my site. Like I had the network that you could not search a Jersey Shore plus abs workout or anything and not find my sites.
And you just because they always say like some of the best business plays are you're predicting where that bell curve is.
Yeah, I just guessed. Like it was a calculated guess that like this guy, who knew that Jersey Shore was going to become as successful as it was. Yeah. I was like, if this show ran for one season, and he's probably going to create a workout program and use his fame to show. So worst case, I'm like, he buys the site from me at some point, and I make $10,000 or something there, because that was a thing too. You could sell sites. People still do that all the time, but that worked, and I was like, okay. What else can I do this on? So back then, IMDb.com had they would list, I don't know if they still do, I haven't checked it all, but they would list every movie for the next like 6-8 months that was in production that was going to come out.
Wow.
And I just looked at every single movie and I went, if it was a male actor, I would buy his name or the movie name plus workout.com, .net, or .org, or if I could get all three, I would.
Wow.
And I would build these sites. And next powerhouse site was, may have heard of Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Yeah.
Thor workout was quite a lucrative day for me.
Yeah.
And it was. I
used to train with Chris Hemsworth at Justin Fortune's gym, the boxing. And,
And then they were starting to publicize the workouts. So the articles I was able to get pretty good articles, based on what they were publishing back then through blogs. It was still not heavy video
So
yet.
when you publish a blog, just so people at home, but also to my understanding, so anytime you have blog posts or blog interactions, that's a posted thing that adds to the Google searchability.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, there was I'll get to it in a sec because this doesn't really work now.
Yeah.
Because there was a loophole, which was I figured out, which was exact match domain names.
Got it.
So if I had, AJBuckleyworkout.com, I was going to rank higher than your website
Because it's
because
specific.
it was specific.
got
So
it.
if I could get, and again, reaching a little bit like, Chris, another one was Chris Evans workout for Captain America.
Yeah.
That site made me like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I knew like I was building them far in advance that they were also able to.
Would that stuff just make you giddy? You're like, man, you're
I
like in
look back.
Matrix.
The only regret I just repeated this whole process over and over again for about 2 years, and I got very arrogant, very cocky, like extreme sport mentality. I'm like, I figured out life, like, and it was like in hindsight, it was very smart. I had about 500 domain names at one point.
Wow.
And I had 2 Filipino VAs, and all I did was wake up and I would find one domain name every day.
Wow.
That was all that was my job. I'd wake up, by the end of the day, I need to find one good domain name that I thought would be hypothetically would, get enough search volume to be something. Because I also learned that of statistics, like for every 10 sites I made, one did well.
Yeah.
All the other 9
Numbers
flopped.
Yeah.
But one would do $100 a day.
Yeah.
And my goal was to get all the sites or the network of sites to be doing a consistent $1,000 a day. And then there's a website called flippa.com where I could sell the whole network. And if it was trackable for a year, you could get usually a 2 or 3x multiple on the network. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to sell all these for $1 million.
Yeah.
And I got it consistently with about 500 sites ish to about $500 to $750 a day. Very passive, very recurring. And
how old are you right now?
This is like, I'm about to turn 30.
Wow.
Like,
And
because
most people that have gone to college, they're just coming out and they're like, I'm into the work. I've got my degree that is going to do nothing. I'm in debt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're literally.
I paid off my school loans with that money.
Yeah.
But so I just saw a repeatable system, and I did my best to exploit that. And then that's actually when Kristen, my fiance, we met.
How'd you guys meet?
I moved into the apartment on top of hers.
No way.
Because there was a new luxury apartment building, and I moved in with no furniture. Like I had a monitor, a Bose surround sound, and whiteboards of all my sites so I could track the daily traffic on the wall. And like my bed was on.
She's like, he's either autistic or a drug dealer.
So they thought her and her best friend thought I did porn because I never because I was also partying a lot. Because what do you do when?
That's what you do.
I was like, dude, I'm living the dream, bro. I can spend as long as I don't spend more than $500 tonight, it's gonna replenish itself tomorrow. Not the best way to live your life. But I did it and it was fun. Lots of bottle service and discretionary spending happening. But because of that, they thought I was crazy, and because I was partying a lot, I was like my Bose surround was vibrating to the floor, and she was a nurse. She worked every day at 4 a.m. She came up one day and knocked on the door, and she's like, and I had no idea I had friends over. We were getting ready to go out, and I opened the door. I'm like, wait, all my friends are here. Who? And it was like a gated building, you couldn't just walk in. And I opened it up, and she was standing there, and I was like, hi. I was like, who are you? And she was like, ugh. I live underneath you, and I would really appreciate. I have to work at 4 a.m. Could you please not party anymore and just keep it down? And I was
okay, mom.
And I was like, also complete socially inept kind of at this point. I was like, 4 a.m. that sucks. I'm sorry, but it made me realize
you have to go to actual work.
Yeah. And she was just like, ugh, and just walked away and obviously mad at me. And then I did realize that because I had my subwoofer on the floor, that was why it was vibrating. I didn't know because I lived with my mom before this. So so I put my subwoofer up, and it did fix the issue, and I was not a menace to her life anymore. But I started seeing her out everywhere, and you see somebody enough, I'm like, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't. She's holding an empty cup. I was like, you clearly need one. She's like, I don't want you. I don't want it. And then finally, I just kept running into her. And then one of our mutual friends was up on our little rooftop with her. They were eating dinner because we had a community rooftop where the grills. I would go up there and grill steaks with my buddies all the time. And I saw the girl that she was with. She was like, Ryan, nice to see you. And then we she came up and hugged me, and Kristen was like, you like that guy? and her friend, the girl's name was Brittany. She was like, she said, oh, he said he's in my, because she was about to get married. She's like, he's in my husband's, groomsmen. He's one of my groomsmen. We love Ryan. We're friends. And then after that, I get a Facebook friend request, and then we just started talking. I was like, I really feel bad for ruining your sleep for like 6 months. Like, let's get wine on the rooftop, and like, like saying that was like 14 years ago. So we've been together. We've been together. Like, but we ended up moving in together, and this is when I was doing the sites. So, try explaining what you do for a living. Yeah. If this is like your job.
She's like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah. She's like, and she's like very very put together corporate, like on a path of like management, like. And she, so she was in like rooms, and like I'd show up and I was the stereotypical BMX racer. Like I had cut off jean shorts, sleeveless shirts. Like most times my hair was a mess. It was dyed different colors. Yeah. And, we were together for about 2 years ish. And during that time, because we did break up, spoiler alert, but for a little bit. But during that time, I thought I was invincible. And like these sites where I was like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't. And then Google changed everything.
Is that with Panda?
Yep, the Panda update. Yeah. The little cute panda ruined everything.
So for people that don't know, explain that.
I don't even like.
Google closed the loophole.
Google realized that the hack was to buy exact match domains.
Yeah.
And when that happened,
they were like, these guys, we need to be making that money, not you guys.
They're like, yeah. So I mean, overnight, I'll never forget the day it happened. Like it was like all my sites disappeared from page one, and that was like. Getting my legs cut off, like, and it went from, where it was legitimate doing about, low days was like 300 to 500, high days 1,000 to 2,000, like, and it went down to like $50, $100. Oh wow! Like, and I was like, oh my god. And now we had just moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in the same building. Now we're paying multiple rents, and I couldn't afford to pay rent anymore. Like, but again, kind of pivoting. What I did know from the BMX days was that I needed to be building an email list. Now this type of business wasn't based off personality. It was based off of like just traffic. So when you tried to leave any of my sites, I was told that I had exit pops up where like enter your email to get a free workout program to get abs in 3 days. Well, I had built up about 25, 30,000 people that wanted that PDF. Yeah. So I was able to fill in the gap there a little bit of like income. And unfortunately we did break up at that time, me and Kristen. Not so much for just because I was broke at this point. It was like we both had to kind of figure some stuff out. And I moved in with my friend Danny. I actually moved back with my mom for like 2 weeks, and I couldn't do that. And and I was like, what do I do? And I did have a little bit of money saved. I wasn't like totally broke, but I didn't have a lot. And we moved into this place. I moved in with Danny, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, yo, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm clearly have some skill sets as an entrepreneur, like, but the vibe that I was giving the world, I looked like I'd rob a convenience store. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? No wonder she broke up with me. Like, so I found Style YouTube. And I was like, yo, and I was convinced that Kristen dumped me for guys in suits. I don't know what, not a thing, never was a thing. But I was like, I'm gonna be the extreme sport guy that wears suits. And like, so I basically took like, I think it was like, I had like $4,000 in my bank account. And I was like, I'm gonna take 50% of this and I'm gonna go buy a whole new wardrobe. So I went and bought all new clothes, like got a haircut, really just kind of, I think I did a pretty good job. I took my image to another level of stuff I learned off YouTube. Which is specifically I Am Alpha M, Antonio, a lot of the big style YouTubers that we became friends to, still friends to this day. But I started going out because I'm a single guy now, dressed in all this new stuff. And I was like, yo, this is kind of like a hack. If I dress well, women talk to me. I don't really have to be that cool. They're just talking to me. Well, after doing that for a few months, my friends were like, hey, Ryan, can you go to the mall with me? I'm gonna go out Saturday night with some friends, and I like your style lately. So I was like, yeah, buy me drinks and I'll go to so they started paying me to take them shopping. And I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Little lame. I'm not really trying to be like Hitch, but I helped out my friends. And then like I was starting to network more. Like people were starting to like talk to me, and I was like, there's something here. So I was like, ding, ding, ding. And then I looked at the YouTube channels that were already successful, and I was like, yo, nobody's saying what they want to say. And specifically that was wear this, get laid. And sure enough, I was like, I went and I rented a little storefront where I can make videos. set up a camera, and I would go there every day.
I love this. I don't think I've ever met a person that's got more hustle and drive. Like I feel like I'm pretty. I get up and get after it, and like I'm always looking for that thing. But dude, this is like you are on another level, bro. It is awesome.
Survival, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's inspiring. It's so like it's such a because you're constantly reading the play and the evolution of. And I think that's probably where the success of like you've been transparent in. This is the journey that I've been on. I was put in a situation that pivoted. I had to pivot. I adapted, overcame, saw the market there. But it's always been true to who you are. It's been your journey.
I've been very good at like if I'm going through it and like I will find a way out of it, and then I can teach you or tell you how I got out of it.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot to this day. But the fashion, I never could have dreamed like the fashion thing was really cool. And I'm very like, I did come in with the angle because again, looking at the assets I have available, and also I had a network at this point because like I was friends with a lot of people making money online at this point because as you've seen, like once you get up to a level, it's kind of a small world.
Yeah,
people know people, So
yeah. And if you're, it's like I feel like anywhere in life, you can get to a certain point, but if you're if you do good by people and you're not, because there's so many people that they're very selfish and insecure about other people's success. But if you celebrate people's success and give credit where credit due, I feel like it comes back tenfold. And you worry about just your own and being you get inspired by other people, but you're a good person. That I think when you start to get to the top, other people are like, this is a good dude right here. Like we're all in the same pool, but we're feeding each other.
Yeah, I just looked at the fashion stuff, just like the Google SEO stuff. Like, yeah, you could look at that. It was gray, like it was but at the end of the day, if you're searching for this type of workout and you're finding a program, as long as I didn't sell programs, I sold good programs that people that had lots of reviews and like people liked. So I was
if you didn't do it, someone else is gonna do it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm helping them lose weight. I'm helping them get better their life. I'm cool with that. Same thing with the fashion and style, because the first video came out and it's still on YouTube to this day. I was like, wear this, get laid. And that was the title. And
it's smart.
And sure enough, and it was like, it was just I've gotten very good, and even now, like it's almost to a fault. Like I go contrarian hard. Like I look at what the norm is doing, and I will take a hard stance. And the other YouTubers back then, they were just soft. Like they weren't saying, like I was watching that because I was a single guy who had just gotten dumped, and I was pissed off, and I wanted to go hook up and hang out with girls. Like that was my life. Like what else am I gonna do? And then there was, so I was like, what would I search for? And sure enough, that was that. And then, again, the first video kind of took off. And then I another good friend of mine, his name is Jason Capital. He was very big in the dating pickup world, which that's a world that's a little weird. Yeah. But I found myself at like events hanging out with him, and he's like, hey, you really need to make a digital product. And I was like, and I wasn't at the time, like I was making videos, and I was like, he said, no, he's like, I've seen how, and then, come full circle, me and Kristen reconnected, got back together, and we've been together now for, minus the small gap, like almost 14, 15 years. Yeah. Like, so like he said, you are a much better person now. And like, I'm proud to be your friend. And Elliot kind of said the same thing to me. And there were two people that really had I cared their opinions. Yeah. And he said, but people need this information because guys are struggling dating, even more so now. Yeah. Like this is like, 8, 9 years ago.
They don't have, it goes back to the physical sort of things. They're not
confident.
Like people don't talk on the phone. They'd rather text. And it's like you call them after texting, they don't pick up. You're like, dude, pick up.
Yeah, call, FaceTime. Walk up to a person in a coffee shop, for God's sakes. Yeah. Like, so I made a product, and again, like, I got to give some love to Jason Capital, because he was really good at, like, he had some pretty obnoxious product titles, like 77 ways to make her want to you, which is like a very high selling product for him. But I was like, I don't want to be that aggressive, because like I'm back with my girl now. Yeah. So like I created a product called 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. Yeah. And it was 51 videos on how to be more handsome and attractive. Yeah. And launched it, and then that. Between the YouTube channel, that product, and I made one more product that I'm not 100% proud of, but I would probably do the same thing again if I was given to that product. And then that was a $47 product, like the 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. And then I had a $99 product in the upsell flow, which was called Bad Boy Unleashed, because I found that everybody, like, I had archetyped styles.
Yeah.
So like you had Wall Street, bad boy, hipster, and then country.
Yeah.
And like everyone kind of falls into one category based on their personality, you know, and then you could cross some stuff, but you know, that was like bad boy. Whenever I wrote emails about bad boy style, those got the highest opens. Whenever I made a YouTube video about bad boy this, it got more views. So I used that to make the product. And that product was doing, you know, it worked up to be a pretty solid 6-figure business for me.
Wow.
Like doing a YouTube video Monday through Friday, promoting in the description link, selling this product. And then I needed something that was like low ticket to get more people in to buy 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. So using what I learned from Jason Capital and like kind of the more obnoxious names, people wanted outfits. So I created 7 outfits to make her you. Like, and then the order bump was set, and it was $7, $1 an outfit. And I made these in Photoshop. That's why I said in college I learned Photoshop. I would Photoshop little squares of like outfits, and then Amazon affiliate links on where to buy these set outfits. And it was like it was a $7 product, and then I had an order bump, which was 7 more outfits to make her want you. And it was like F asterisk C, you know, CK. And then I plugged in the other products I had, and those 2 products I was able to, like, you know, again, you know, I mean, I was selling that stuff, like, you know, it was doing, you know, a couple through $300, $400, $500 a day. Like, just, I was able to create a pretty passive, make a video Monday through Friday, make a video, link to this, and money comes.
And then within all of this knowledge that you've learned, now you've sort of like figured, and like the TikTok shops and this whole new wave of, because obviously Gary Vee was one of the,
yeah, I mean, video was always, when I look back, because I did the Handsome Guy Secrets, I did that for about 2 years, and it did get, I didn't identify with it anymore because at the time, like my daughter's 10 now, I was about to have a daughter. I was forced to go make videos of like, wear this on Saturday night if you're going to get, and I wasn't living that life anymore. So it was very hard for me to make content about it. And so I basically, again, similar to BMX, I was like, all right, well, we had a good run.
Look, you have to be like, everybody on your journey, you figure out things. And then within that journey going, you know what, this isn't really me. This is not my, and I think within that, you evolve. You have to know what you don't want to make to what you actually, what you have to be like, in order to go down the street fully and to get to where you're going to live, like you have to make rights and left and this, and you're like, actually, no, this is the path I'm going to be on.
Yeah. And I mean, I also learned it's like, it's okay to change.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like
anybody says that you've changed, it's like, of course I have.
Yeah.
I've lived life. Like this
I had a kid.
Yeah.
I got engaged.
Yeah.
Like
life changes.
I'm not this person no more.
And that's part, but that journey is, and nobody wants the hero's journey. I always say this all the time. It's like the flawed journey, but recognizing like these are the pivotal things on my journey that said, okay, well, this has happened. This now I'm bumping on this. And probably while you were doing stuff, you're like, yeah, this is, but I've got to understand this marketplace.
Yeah. I mean, and it was like, again, all those videos, like I'm a big believer. Like I don't like to delete stuff. Like that's why I find like, transparency is the easiest thing for me because like, as long as I'm telling the truth or like my lived experience, then I'm like, I don't have to delete this.
Yeah.
Like, and like you can still search Ryan McGinn, Handsome Guy Secrets, and hundreds of videos will pop up. And that's who I was. And like, I'm proud. I mean, I'm going to show it to my daughter. Like I was proud of that person. You know, but I evolved past that. And then, but I've also found that usually the time of evolution is like usually kind of like, it always kind of goes a little dark and gets weird for a little while. And that's what, you know, prior to this kind of whole thing brought me to right before COVID. You know, and at, you know, prior, like I kind of stopped the Handsome Guy Secret stuff. And for about a year, I did like freelance work, freelance videography, because I made videos, like marketing strategy, nothing that was like notable. Like, but then COVID kind of came, and I had clients that I was doing like videos for, and then pretty much COVID, everybody canceled, and then a lot of people asked me for refunds, like for previous service, and it got really messy. And I remember like COVID started, everything shut down, and I had negative like $9,000 in my bank account. Like, cause all the clients had some of the clients had charged me back cause they were panicking. And, you know, I ended up like disputing and like, I ended up getting all that back because I did actually provide my service, and it was like, and I don't really fault those people for doing that either because everyone was panicking. But I was again like, COVID, and then Kristen being a nurse, she's going to work every day. It's like Super Bowl for her.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm at home now. My daughter's 4, and I'm like a stay-at-home dad. To a degree, like I was a stay-at-home dad because you couldn't take them anywhere. There was no daycares or anything, and like my account was negative, and like there wasn't much money coming in. I was still making some residuals from the Handsome Guy stuff, so I was like, oh, here we go again. I'm broke again, which again, risk tolerance. I was like, it might take me a month, but I'll figure it out. I had to tell Kristen, hey, I don't know if I can pay rent this month. Or I can't really help right now. And, that's, she's stuck by me and always has. She's like, you'll figure it out. And then, I was starting to see TikTok kind of become a thing. And I was like, And at the time I had YouTube skills, and I was like, man, but if I start teaching like video and content, I'm competing with like Casey Neistat and Peter, all these massive YouTubers already. I'm like, that's hard. It's going to take me time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can't do it, but I was like, that's probably a year before I make any measurable progress. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the hack here? Like, how do I make that faster? Well, TikTok. I was like, TikTok's a platform nobody's really educating on. And Gary Vee was on there kind of preaching, again, coming back like Gary Vee, he was starting to educate on TikTok. My friend Jason Capital was starting to educate on TikTok. And they were like kind of succeeding, but nobody else was there yet. And I was like, okay. So when the Handsome Guy Secret stuff kind of, when I stopped that, I was late to Instagram. I mean, late as a kind of a relative term, but like, the Instagram picture wave was like crashed already.
Yeah.
So I came into Instagram at a weird time. Couldn't really succeed there because like pictures were the thing on Instagram back then. No video wasn't taking over Instagram yet. And I was like, okay. But then you have this new platform, TikTok, and I missed Vine. So I was like, okay, let's try this TikTok. And I love forced constraints. I like to put forced constraints on myself. So I was like, there was usually like from like, I think it was like 10 a.m. until like 11 or 11:30. My daughter would watch her cartoons, and ultimately she would leave me alone a little bit to where I could work. And I was like, okay, so I took our bedroom, made it into kind of like a set, put my tripod there, turned a light on behind the headrest, closed the drapes, and I turned my camera. And this was like very common now, but nobody turned their camera vertically and filmed.
Yeah.
And then nobody took that footage and edited it on a computer and then airdropped it themselves and uploaded it to TikTok. So I started TikTok. My videos from day one were filmed through a high quality camera with the bokeh, and they looked fancy. And nobody did that. And I was also able, and this is where I kind of credit, like it was only 15 seconds. So if I needed to make a point, I needed to be very fast, very quick, and very concise. So I would spend an hour a day filming, editing. Like I would come up with it, like how I was going to say it, what the video's about, film it and edit it, but it had to be done in 1 hour. And I was like, I'm going to commit to this for 90 days. I can do an hour a day for 90 days just to give this some legs to see if it works. And sure enough, like video 10, 11 million views. And I was like, whoa. And I gained 30,000 followers.
Wow.
And I was like, holy and now for context, I did 2 years of YouTube and I got to like 30,000 subs and like 5 million views a month.
Yeah.
Like
this was
way
gassing,
faster.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I'm like, okay. I'm like, again, I'm early, not a lot of people here. So I was like, how do I leverage this? And again, I was like, okay, 6 months from now, what does this look like? I was like, okay, I need 100,000 followers. Because when you get 100,000 followers on a platform, you're treated differently.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I can get 100,000 followers on TikTok. I was like, okay, one video got me 30K. I'm averaging like 10,000 followers for every million views I get. How many videos do I need to do to get, 10 million views to get 100? And so I just kind of broke the math down, and then I just started making videos. And I was like, okay, what can I do here? Can I build a business out of this? Well, nobody's really buying anything from TikTok. Like I was like, there's no business here. I said, but there's always the service of doing this for other people.
Yeah.
So as soon as I had measurable success, like once I got that first video and I put like 90 days of effort in, I then started reaching out to my friends, people that I knew had YouTube channels. And I was like, hey guys, let me build you a TikTok. And originally I was like, I don't want any payment. I just want commission off of whatever you're selling through like the bio link, because we had bio links back then. And a few of my friends said yes. And I never made any money from those bio links, but I got a couple case studies. You know, I got my friend Chris Barnard. He runs Overtime Athletics. We grew him to like 100,000 followers in like 40 days or something.
Wow.
My friend Elliot Holst, I mean, he went on to get kind of canceled a little bit, and his account was like, you know, we grew 3 of his accounts to like 100K. And then I had my friend Adley Kinsman. She was a viral prank girl. She's a good friend of mine. She was my first paying client, and all she could pay me was $750 a month. And I joke with her because we're really good friends now. I was like, you paid me a total of $6,000 for 1 million followers. And looking back now, I would pay that all day. But she was like, and then so I had like her account to 1 million in like 6 months, multiple 100K accounts. Plus I was at like 75K. So then, you know, I started like, this is a thing. This is a service. I'm getting $750 a month. A couple people are now paying me. You know, I started, you know, bringing on friends of mine. I'm like, that I knew did good videos.
So this was the forming of the agency?
This was the forming of the agency. And it wasn't until I joined a Facebook group called TikTok Marketing Secrets, and it was run by a guy named Michael Sanchez. And he would do coaching calls for like $100. And at the time I was running 3 accounts, and it was mine, Elliot's, and Chris's. And I was like, yo, like, so I wanted to
Did you know on this one, seeing how explosive this was, you were like, this is different than the past 2 ventures that
I saw. The only thing that was really different was I had a little bit of a runway because I knew I was early. And so I had a lot of time to figure things out before the rest of the world kind of, you know, and I didn't know how long that was going to be. So I was moving really fast, but I also had case studies that were like very proof driven that I could easily sell. And, you know, it just, the only downside back then was nobody cared about TikTok enough to invest a lot of money into it. So I knew it would be like more of a lower tiered, like if I got 1,000, 2,000 a month from, you know, I'd have to do higher end, like a bulk of clients. But that's why, you know, so I bought 3 coaching calls from Michael, and I didn't buy, you know, because he had the quantity bar. Like, and like, I didn't do it like that. I individually paid him $100 3 times just because I saw it was PayPal. So I knew he would get 3 PayPal transactions with my name. So he's going to remember my name more.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know why, because I knew he knew people as well. And, you know, so I did, the first call was for Elliot's account, and he was like, oh man, dude, I follow Elliot. I've seen his stuff. The second account was Chris. He's like, oh, I've seen these videos because they were going viral. So, and the platform was nowhere near saturated back then. So like you were seeing viral videos a lot more. And then the last one I got to was mine. Like I was like, yo, what information, what do you think I should do in mine? And he's like, dude, this is you? I didn't realize I was talking to you. He said, I use your videos in my coaching group to say, if you don't start making videos like this, you're probably going to be left behind. And I use your videos as examples. And from that point forward, we kind of became friends. And that was kind of the point of like, I wanted, you know, we became friends. And then I shit you not, like 1 week after we did those calls, that's when like I see a post in his Facebook group, Adley Kinsman, looking for somebody to take my viral pranks and turn them in. That became my million follower case study.
Wow.
And all he did was say, hey, I know there's a lot of people that are probably going to say they can do this, but I only trust, and he tagged me.
Wow.
Adley reached out to me. And then he watched me grow Adley's account really fast. And then next one that came, he was reached out to Grant Cardone. Like Grant Cardone's team reached out to him saying, who do you know that can repurpose Grant's stuff into TikToks? You know, and he's like, let me put you in touch with my friend Ryan. So I get a text, and it's like, you know, he's like, hey, do you have room for another client? And of course I was like, well, I don't know. Who is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You ever heard of 10X?
Mind you, I was making like $1,500 a month doing this. Like I was like, you know. And he was like, Grant Cardone's team might be reaching out to you tonight. I gave him your number, and I was like, cool. Sure enough, get a text from Jared, who's worked with Grant for a long time. Next day, like I'm on the phone with Jared, and I was like, okay, this is Grant Cardone. He says double your prices. So I was like, you know, I did a whole pitch, like, and I guaranteed him 100,000 followers in 30 or 90 days. And, you know, I was like, for that, it's going to be $3K a month. And it was just TikTok. And they said, you really think you can do 100,000 followers in 90 days? I said, absolutely. It's 10 viral videos. Grant's viral. I'll get it. And, you know, sure enough, they paid, you know, became a monthly client. You know, Luis, at this point, I had brought Luis in, who's been with me since the beginning. I was like, hey, I need help, because I was running Elliot's, mine, and Chris, because they weren't making any money. So I was like, I took the $3K and I paid Luis $1,500. I took 1,500 to myself for obviously running the company. And sure enough, Luis got him, 28 days. He had 100K. And then that led to another client, which I can't say because of NDAs, but what we were doing was a very specific subtitle style, the yellow and green subtitles that at the time nobody was doing because they were manual. It was very manual intensive to do the subtitles in that style. And, we started doing it on my account. We did it on Grant's account. Then I started working with Ryan Pineda. Then those two led to the people I can't name, which you've probably seen them. They like the color purple.
Yeah.
Got a lot of books.
Yeah.
And then it led me to like Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, Flagrant Clips, Modern Wisdom Podcast. And it went zero first year, the company, like the year after the year that COVID was here, it did 0 to 500K. And, with like 4 of us doing it. Wow. And then it was like the next year we did $1 million. And then it's been $1 million every year for the last 5 years on the agency side.
That is insane. So within the TikTok thing and the thing that, goes back to, applying yourself and actually committing to one of the, I think the first videos I ever saw with you was post a video a day. Or post how many videos a day?
I tell everybody, if you can get to where you can post 10 videos a day,
yeah.
If you post 10 videos a day,
and people are like, how do I
to
do 10 videos a day? But you're just like, pick up the phone.
Yeah. I mean, you got to follow like what we saw, like, because something that like I'm very, I paid a lot of attention to is like data. And I'm fortunate with the company and my friends and people that I've interacted with that I see a lot of arguably high level social media data. And when we see stuff, it's like everything moves so fast now. So it's like when you see something that's working, just like the subtitles, like we saw they were working and I was like, okay, we have to exploit this. Like, how do we exploit it fast?
Yeah.
And, just in the subtitles instance in itself, I thought we had a year before everybody would catch up. Realistically, 6 months later, Submagic came out, captions.ai, and they were doing it with one click, and I was like, whoa, okay. So, we got to move faster.
Is this for viral vids?
Yeah. I mean, well, that was, they just do the captions. Like now everything has an AI captions button where you just hit it and it transcribes it and makes the caption styles. That style has faded off. It's nowhere near, it's not popular anymore. Yeah. But, there's subtitles on every single video on the internet now. Like it's weird if a video doesn't have subtitles. So I just like, in looking at the data, it's like, okay, how do we just take what works? And if you make 100 videos, statistically, 10 of those are probably going to do really well. Well, how do we compress the 10? Like to make sure that if I post 100 videos, how do I get the 10 to 20 and the 20 to 30? Because that moves things forward faster. And what we just started seeing, at least now where we are current 2026, July economy of content is like the raw and the unfiltered and the natural style videos, they perform really well. I don't know, like that could change next month. It could change 2 weeks from now. It could change 2 years from now. But when that started happening, it's like, okay, well, how do I compress this even more? Well, post more videos. Because the beauty is like, this is like a nice set. The podcast, these take effort. Like your producer, Sean, he's going to have to edit the long form. He's going to cut out,
Sean doesn't work that hard.
shout out to Sean. But like, this is slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, whereas your cell phone, and using the Edits app and just talking for 60 seconds
about anything,
about whatever you want. Like, and yes, that's where people get twisted. Cause when I think of 10 videos a day, it's like, okay, if you make 3 60-second videos a day, that are one single topic oriented, easy to digest, I'm pretty confident that anybody that has any life experience or any type of experience doing a certain thing can do 100 1-minute videos.
Yeah.
So it's like with that mindset, how many avenues of your life do you have experience in? It's like, well, you're a parent. You've been into Hollywood. You've been on TV shows. You're a parent. Yeah. You hunt. You drive cool cars. Yeah. All these areas, you have more experience than the average person.
Yeah.
So that's like, to me, I'm like, if you just took those 5 categories and you made one video a day about each of these categories and you posted them, now you're posting 5 times a day on Instagram. Then you took those same 5 and you go to Facebook, and then you go to TikTok, and you go to
Oh, so that's like 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
But over a 1 month, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it compounds on itself.
Wow.
And also you looking at your, you looking at the analytics, you're going, okay, well, when I talk about my truck and I say the word,
you find
the outliers faster.
Oh, that's
So-
and then you lean into that. as
Yeah,
you're
then you
saying.
just, so it's like, and I like batch filming. Like, I mean, you could go day by day and be like, okay, I wake up, I got to film 3 videos today and post them.
But you just get it out of the way.
Like, I try to do like 1 day a week where like, I do like 30, 40, 50 videos. And I've gotten it to where like, if I have topics and I know what I'm saying going in, that's like 2-3 hours of my day.
Yeah, because people, I think, is like, people are going to get sick of, but what people don't realize is you can make all these videos. Not everybody's seeing that.
Nobody's seen, like, I mean, I don't say nobody's seen them, but like different people see everything based on the algorithm, putting it where the algorithm thinks it's going to go. And that's changed, in the last year, that's gotten much, they call it the interest-based algorithm. Like, I could post 100 videos, and I have in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't mess up your account. It just, over time, those videos get dispersed. And the ones that were going to do good did well. And then you just take those numbers and you look at, okay, if I posted this 100 videos, these 10 videos did this, these did this, let's make this next batch of videos focused on the ones that did well. How many? So like, if you know that, like, if you make a video about Vans authentic shoes and how they relate to SWAT training.
Yeah.
And that did 1 million views. Well, do you have
some of the operators actually?
I know.
Vans,
that's what I said. Like, I saw one of the, but it's like, okay, that video was an outlier. It did well. Can I take this concept and turn it into 10 more? Well, now I'm not having to reinvent the wheel. It's already worked, and this doesn't work perfectly for every video or every idea. But if you're constantly using the feedback, it's like an infinite feedback loop. It's like, video did good. Okay, make more like it. Okay, those videos did bad. Can we make them better? Probably not. Scratch it. Go move on. And that, again, it's like a repeatable system. But the beauty is right now, like the barrier of entry for production is on the floor.
Which is because that's the, and again, I think it's then applying yourself and being disciplined within the work and getting after it. Within that now, like I've heard Gary Vee say a lot, like live shopping, whatnot. This sort of space is the next next big thing. Is that what?
I mean,
because it's like I've looked at the live. It's a whole nother, because you see the stuff in Japan or in China, or the shop. It's bananas.
I mean, I am not a huge fan of live. The only reason is I'm at the mercy of being live.
Yeah.
And that, could I make a lot of money, or could you make a lot of money going live for, like, yeah. Like, but do I want to be on camera 8 hours a day?
No.
Like, and then me being live is directly in relationship to how much money I make that day.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't want that.
Your system works for
I mean, well, I mean, for anybody.
For anybody, yeah. Because the live thing's a lot more complicated. You got set up and then you got live shopping.
Streaming is not the easiest thing to do.
No, because you got to you have that attention span. If you're not moving product, I was like, whoa, this is insanity.
Yeah. And, again, like, it's a great business. I don't want to like discredit it as a business, but like, the average person, or I talk to business owners a lot, like, and that I'm like, okay, you're like, even using you as an example, you have the podcast, which is a business. You have your merch, which is a business. You have, I don't know if you're still going to go into more TV, more shows, is a business. Yeah. Like, you end up spreading yourself so thin.
It's all these different buckets of,
And then I'm like, hey, bro, all you gotta do is go live for 8 hours a day, 4 days a week. Yeah. Like, it's impossible.
That's impossible.
Like, so I don't think that fits for the average person. And again, not saying it's a bad thing to do, but I just think, the average business owner, and this is where I've seen so much with content, and I do have strong beliefs that I just think anybody can succeed with content if they just post more. Yeah. Like, and I've seen that managing, because I've had conversations with Grant Cardone at his office where he's unhappy with his views. Like, I've had conversations with these big, I worked with Cody Sanchez for a while. I worked with Modern Wisdom for 4 years. Their business is driven off of views.
Yeah.
Like, the more views they get, the more followers they get, the more money they make. I don't care what business you run.
Three pillars of discipline: spirit, mind, body, in that order. That right there is the foundation of a company I started called Born of Discipline. It's incredibly important to me. This company incorporates my faith, the lessons I learned from my father on discipline, pain from regret, or pain from discipline is something my dad always said to me. And I've incorporated that into my life, and I want to share it with you. Go check it out at bornofdiscipline.com. I mean, one of the coolest things I would say too is you have, because you're like one of the OGs in across the board. Like, but the more research I did on your stuff, and like a pioneer in this space, and seeing where the bell curve is, and sort of predicting the market. And there's being early, and then there's being wrong. Like, you always have those things that you can have. So for you, what have you found the difference of being early and being wrong? I
mean, I'd rather figure out that I'm wrong than it's weird. Like, cause like, even when it talks about, there's a lot of contradicting opinions, especially on content. And like, I've always been like, since day one, like,
just try it.
I've always been like, the views were always the thing that mattered, because that was all the conversations that I was having with the people that I was working with. And going back to just me being authentic and like sharing what I is my truth. It's like, I see all these people, and like, it's all great information. There's a lot of content coaches and a lot of people teaching you how to make videos, and it's all great stuff. I never, when I would literally be talking to a Cody Sanchez or a Grant Cardone, or like the biggest of the big creators, those were who I was talking to.
Yeah.
And the conversations were never, Ryan, I need to stay within my niche. I need to do this. I need to do this. It was always, Ryan, I need more views. How do we get more views? And that it was always pushing the envelope for virality. And I learned that, immediately from my friend Adley Kinsman. And I give her credit a lot, because she was the first person, that kind of, because before that I was a fashion niche guy. I was a niche guy, and I was like, okay. And she was a pure entertainment broad viral creator. Yeah. And I was able, and she said something to me that like, it changed my life. And I tell her this all the time. And she said, every month I would give her like a little report of her analytics and stuff. And, I was always on the followers, like, cause that's what marketers and business owners, everybody cares about the followers. And and this is, again, for context, this is 4 years ago. So, and she was like, which followers were even more important for everybody 4 years ago. And she's like, Ryan, I don't need that. She's like, literally just, every week, just shoot me a text and tell me how many views I got. And I was like, Adley, you're breaking my brain, because everybody that we work with only wants to know about follower counts and like, conversions and this. Yeah. And she said, Ryan, followers are a byproduct of views. You can't get followers without views.
Wow.
So we just focus on views.
Wow.
And then she even like broke it down more, and she said, you don't get views unless people watch your videos from start to finish. So we only focus on making people watch from start to finish.
And then you'd find out people, like when they did like an algorithm thing, and all of a sudden people would have these million followers, and they would be down to like 300,000 because it was all bots or
that's the nature. Everybody fake.
Like, and it was but that was always, I was like, oh, that was crazy. And that's one thing, I've prided myself. I've never
bought. I just think it ruins your account. It's a waste of money.
It seems weird. But that being said, like having, this platform you have now, there's probably a lot of people that, because you have to make the decision to make that many videos. It's like you have to say, I'm going to get up today, like you've always said, I'm going to take an hour or 2 hours, and I'm going to commit for 90 days. And within that, I'm one of the things that stuck with me, one of the first videos you said was like, your life will change forever. And just hearing you now and really hearing this story, it's like, there's a kid out there that's listening. There's somebody that's listening right now. What, like, other than the stuff that you just said, like, what does that person need to do to commit to themselves to having a life-changing experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, because I do think there's a little shift now as far as like, everything that like kind of we talked about, like my story, it's like, it's based on like the creator economy that is like up until today. And like, I have hard, like I'm trying to wrap my brain around like content and where it's going, because I don't like,
what's the next?
I don't. And that's like the advice to somebody, like, cause everyone, like when I started short form content, like it was like weird, like it was like, oh, it's TikTok. And then TikTok became Instagram
like,
Reels.
Oh, you're an influencer?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
But it was like, everyone laughed at TikTok. And then all of a sudden Instagram made TikTok on their platform. And then YouTube Shorts made it on their platform. And then Twitter or X made it on their platform. And Pinterest tried video. And it was just like, it all started.
And now CAA is just with the biggest agency in the world. They're opening up a creators department and podcasts. And podcasts now, Jason Bateman and their podcast sold for $150 million Amazon.
Yeah, you have like
Dax Shepard sold for $100 million. Like it is bananas within. But I think my take on it is the trends can go all these different places. But if you are authentically yourself, you'll float down. The rapids will change in the river.
Yes.
The river will go different. You're always going to have waterfalls. You're going to have calm bumps. You're going to have these, whatever grade level rapid it is. If you are yourself within the changing times and are constantly evolving with it and being honest within it, you will survive. I feel like you will, and you don't. There's the one policy I've always had, because I've gotten some crazy offers on some things, and I was like, and the money, you're like, it's so tempting, but you're like, it's snake oil. And I feel the day that I lie to the audience for a paycheck is when it ends.
I mean, I don't know that a lot of people right now will get to the point where they would have to be where they can make that decision. And I know that sounds like it's tough, because like I have a lot of I love content and I love the creator content. I love the opportunity, but I think what's happening now, it's like, and I can compare it to kind of Hollywood, and it's right now, everybody with a phone is an actor.
Yeah.
And they all know, and the algorithms are forcing you to act. Because I know, I do my best to be authentic and transparent, but I would be lying to say that the second we start recording, I mean, even the thought of when it came down to what am I wearing when I come here? I'm I got to be light, I got to be bright colors, keeps the visuals. I'm already thinking about how I can.
That's crazy.
I can manipulate you to keep watching me.
Yeah. It is a dope shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's Target. But I'm like,
Target.
Yeah, Target. But I'm like, content. The rewards you get with content now, in a lot of cases, is very negative based, because negative anything does more than positive anything. On the internet, and we see a viral video with a negative hook will outperform a positive hook.
Really?
Or it's unless the person saying it already has star power in some degree.
Yeah.
If you don't have a recognizable face, and I don't consider myself to be anything. You walk around, people recognize you a lot. I could get I got 35 million views last week.
Yeah.
And I walked through the airport today, and not a single person knew who I was.
Yeah.
So, and to me, that's defeating and cool and humbling all at the same time, because I'm like, how many views did I have to get before everybody stopped me? Just think about that number.
Yeah.
And I legitimately had a video go mega viral last week. I got 17.8 million views on Facebook last week.
Wow.
In
the week.
And it was one video, and then that video got 5 million views on Instagram and 1 million views on TikTok. And
So on a month, what do you average views?
I mean, I try to think about I consider my account healthy across the board.
I love this analogy.
If I'm getting 1 million views a week.
Wow.
Because I know that that's going to be roughly 4,000 followers a month. Because I average, you'd be different than me, because I think, you have history before. You're famous on TV.
Yeah.
It's
such a different, it really is a different medium now. And I'm on the learning curve too of how do you, because people know me as Sonny, or they know me as Edmund from Supernatural, or Adam Ross from CSI New York, or whatever other movies or stuff that I've done, or animation things that I've done. And they have this identity to me. So this me being me, and being I've been going through some personal things, and I've been open about it. Not getting into details, but I've been open about it. I was like, hey, I'm going through a tough time, and it's been tough. And and I've never struggled like this before about certain things. And the warmth that I got from people and it responded, and I was because I just felt off in my podcast, or I was like, I'm just going to tell people that I'm having a rough time right now. And it was I got me choked up. I was like, man, these people were so positive of, hey man, because I was I'm not just because I'm TV, I'm a dad first, and a husband, I believe in God, I found God 2 years ago, and it changed my life, and it's become something really important to me. And in Hollywood per se, that's not.
No, I feel that's frowned upon.
It's frowned upon, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to double down on this, because it's good for me, it's great for my family, and I found this great church, Seacoast, and this is my, I don't, whatever, what everyone wants to do what they do, but this is what the story I want to tell on this part of my life. Whatever movies and stuff I that I'm, God willing, I can continue to do. Awesome. But this part of my life is the most excited I've ever been about this, because I'm being me.
Yeah. And I don't want to get it twisted. Like I think everybody should be the most authentic version. I don't think, like, I joke and say that but there is a character. When
you still have to entertain.
Yeah. When the camera turns on, like, I talk louder, I talk faster.
I totally mean, I get what you're saying. Like, but you still have to, like, there's two different, people can be totally, and you're like, whoa, who the fuck is this person? But you still have to entertain. Like, people are coming to see a show. Yes. So you turn on the switch to entertain. And the days that I would feel off, I'm like, hey, I'm struggling right now. So this is what's going on, as opposed to really forcing something out of me.
Yeah. I mean, we have, because right now in my agency, like, I have a term I call it two terms that I've kind of come up with is the creative tax, and then there's like viral PTSD. Which I knew that I don't want to discredit PTSD at all, but it's like, because there's like, and working with the clients and like even my team, like, because we're a team of like 14-ish people right now. Like, we produce about 3,000 videos a month. Holy and we distribute them for anywhere from roughly 10 to 15 clients, like multiple posts per day. So that's where like a lot of my, but I look at that and then I think about, okay, how do I help like an average person, a business owner right now? Like, how do they, because the people that are paying me, like, and just for context, like my low tier on the agency side is $6,000 a month. My highest is like 10K a month. And then we do like a 30K package, but it works out. It's about 10K a month, and the people that are paying that have very well established businesses, and they're pushing the volume. They have something, that is making them money that is predictable on the back end. So they've
built in the ad spend.
Yeah. They're like, I sell this. I know that I need more exposure to this. So it's like, if I spend this, if this costs me 10K, I know I can make 20K out the back,
it's calculated.
And I think that there's a huge gap right now for a lot of business owners and people in general that are seeing the creator economy and the opportunity. And it's like, whereas like 5 years ago, I would tell everybody, just post anything, because you need to just start building your personal brand. It's easier now than it will be in 5 years. I can guarantee that. Yeah. So get as much as you out there and grow with kind of like I want to say like a reckless abandon. Yeah. Like, because that's what I did. Like,
it's like being a teenager. Go be a teenager.
Yeah.
Go make mistakes.
I'm gonna make videos about this. I'm gonna make videos about this. But like now, because of the algorithm being more interest based, because it wasn't like that. It was like you can make niche videos, but eventually you are going to get stuck as that person. So it's like a lot of people listening or watching this would probably be like, okay, well, I run a laundromat, and they're like, it's like, okay, well, now not only do you have to run the laundromat, now you are a media company that owns a laundromat.
Yeah.
So like
micro dramas now, with micro dramas within and vertical,
like you can
create these stories within the.
I don't know if the world is ready culturally and business owners and people, because not only the world was just given by force an entire secondary business and job, which is you are a media company. But you also got to run your business and do your thing, and or you have to work your job. You're a media company and you work your job. Now, the spectrum, gets wild when it's like, because there's people that like, well, the media company I make a lot of money from my end. There's a lot of people making videos that don't make money, and there's a lot of businesses that make a lot of money that don't make money from the content, but they make money from the business. And it's created this weird, like, content is expected. Content is.
Yeah, I mean, because you have like Walmart now is doing Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they're putting like podcast studios in Walmarts. They're putting them in. Starbucks is forcing their
like Mr. Beast and all of his stuff. It's like it is like Mr. Beast is just he's Mr. It's next level of what that guy has done. But the advertising and stuff is space too. I feel like I love like. If I see a commercial or see something where they're not selling me something, but I'm having an experience, and it's not like, hey, this is blah, 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 but you're telling a narrative within. Yeah. I was like, okay, like that's like, how would I sell? I I'm a filmmaker. I know how to tell a story, but we're not jamming like whatever the product is. We're showing somebody getting up, a hardworking man. He puts on these boots. They happen to be Red Wings, but you see his life and making a coffee and his kid, and he gets on his bike.
The Yeti documentaries.
Those I feel like they evoke an emotion. You can smell the coffee in the morning. You can hear the paper that he's, those shoes live in that world. And I feel like that type of storytelling and that type of thing within like the person who have the laundromat, if that person just tells their story, you are like, this is so because it's real. You relate.
We by nature want, like, we've been force fed. I mean, it even goes to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're forced a narrative and visuals that they depict that you see. And the second we got iPhones and cameras, and even now editing softwares on the phones that are super intuitive and easy to use, like everyone has kind of become a vessel for filming and becoming a creator.
That YouTube director that just, what is that movie called, Sean? Obsession. Dude,
incredible movie. I watched it.
It's crazy, and this
so
guy,
dark,
and it's made so much money. Like how much?
I think it's like 150 million. I think.
No, they're over 400 million.
I'm way off.
And he just got like.
But wasn't it like only like $4 million?
Not even that. No, it was like a couple 100,000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they made it for 750,000.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But he just was dialed in, told a narrative, but was. I mean, that movie bends your brain, but. Like that's when I get so excited about that because that's where we live right now. Like we live in a place where there's no excuse that you can't do it right now.
No.
Like if you're bitching and complaining, you're
being
soft.
lazy.
You're being
soft.
lazy.
Yeah.
Like stop making excuses.
I just think that like if everybody started, if they could commit and they could post 3 videos a day about whatever it is right now that they're passionate about or that they're making money from. If you do enough of that for long enough and you believe that it will turn into something, it will. And that could be your own digital product. That could be a coaching. That could be consulting. That could be a hat. That could be a t-shirt company. That could be a job at Starbucks doing what you just did for Starbucks. Like, I just think that there has to be an inherent belief in videos and content that this will make money. And that, I guess that's just something that like I was ingrained early on because I saw it and I believed it. And I see business owners now, they don't believe in, they're like, oh, I have to make content or they want to hire it out. Like they want to, and I mean, like, again, like sometimes I feel like I'm putting myself out of business. Like, cause I'm like, the reality is you don't need an agency. You don't need help. It's all available at your phone, but that's at the capacity of how much time you're willing to put into it. And then also how good are you at doing it? And when I say how good are you, because like, like videos it will bring out every insecurity you have about yourself. Yeah. It will bring out every inconsistency. It will bring out all the lies you probably told to yourself, or you might realize, oh, that's not true. And I've been saying that and you have to be okay with putting that out there. And that, I don't think everybody's ready for that. And and I think I
think when people go in, like you said at the beginning, where they're acting or they have this character that they're playing.
Yeah,
you tell, and it's as we talked about AI as well. Like there's something soulless about AI.
So soulless, yeah.
And it's like people are like, I want nothing to like. At first, you're like, well, this is a pretty flower, and then you're like, this is a plastic flower. I can't fucking smell it, And there's that world of we're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and we're swimming in it like that. I always think of this as like. The internet and TikTok, like one of my favorite movies is Finding Nemo.
Oh yeah,
when he like meets the turtle,
Dory.
and they go in the turtle. He's like, "Hey, we're going down here, dude."
Yep.
And but it's all these people, and just like going and you're gonna meet people along the way. Hey man, it's like it just what was that turtle's name? His name was Crush. I love Crush. Crush is so cool.
Yeah, Crush is cool.
Crush is so cool. But it's like that's what I feel like there's everyone is in this sort of jet stream of this flow of the internet, and I think you hit on the nail on the head. Was like where you lay safe in this thing is staying true to the story and finding the things that you're good at, finding that and like believing in yourself. Hey, I'm good at this. Like you've repeated the same, whether you knew it or not. You're like, okay, I did this with my BMX videos. I did this working out, doing all these things. Your journey has been insane, and I feel like what if anybody listening to this your work ethic, I think, is and I mean this as a massive compliment. I don't think I've met someone that like your brain moves at such a pace that to be able to see those market things. But you literally are putting the playbook out there. Be like, hey man, I've done the work. This is backed by data. Just do this.
Yeah, I do. I think, when it comes to content, you have to streamline it to what can I reasonably repeat over and over again, whether I feel like it or not.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're at a better time because cell phone videos work, and they work really well. And again, I've been in this game a long time. I don't know if it's going to work that well 6 months from now or a year from now. I hope it does because it's, because content, there are barriers to content. Like, and I look at it like you used to have to go to the Apple store to buy a Final Cut Pro in a box and install it on your computer and then learn how to use it to get a video out. Like YouTubers were weird 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Like to find an editor, editors were weird. Like, and it's evolved to where, like, I love editors. Like I employ a lot of editors. Like, but like, there's a lot of bottlenecks for average people right now that they're putting in based on what they're seeing on the internet. And this coming from a guy who pays roughly 14 video editors. I mean, my payroll for my company is about $50,000 a month. So I have a lot of skin in the game as far as like, like everyone is complicating the creation process. But at the end of the day, I've worked with so many different people. I love video editors. I love editing. I love stories. I love this. But when it comes to talking head content, as in personal brand content, which is what everybody wants right now, if you speak better, you don't have to edit. You don't have to have production. So you don't have to
just click and send.
Like you can, and that's what I have always focused on. And then I see it. Like I used to think it was like, yo, check out these subtitles. This is the only reason like Grant Cardone's videos work is because these subtitles. It's like, no. When I watched that again without the ego, it's like Grant just said a really great video. He said something that was controversial. He taught something that nobody knew about. He explained something in a way, and just like your vid. So if you look at all the ones.
Data, when people can learn something really quick, data driven, they'll come back and be like, oh, I just learned something from that person. They'll come back and come back and come back.
And then the more you can do that. And that's why like now, all I really practice per se is, I do a lot of reps because the more reps I do, the easier it gets. So like, I know that I can perform better on your podcast if I speak well when I talk. That comes from doing hundreds of short form videos. And hours of long form content. And like, it's like there's no world where I think you would make less money if you didn't make more videos because you will become a better speaker. You will become more prominent and confident.
You're going to parlay into every other. And especially now that with the pushback to people yearning to.
And people are yearning. Like right now is like the time. Like you don't need a production team to take out your phone using the edit.
You hear that, Sean? You don't need a production team.
Well, you need a production team to do this stuff.
If I get fired because of this podcast,
Dude,
is your agency hiring?
But that's the other spectrum.
I would be so screwed with
like
that,
I'm
Sean.
looking at you. Like, if I were
this
you,
is us. This is we run everything. Just me and him and his
but
his
he
wife.
So this is where the limitations of content come in, and like you learn this at a scale that I don't think many people will see. Like we have the clipping economy now. You have a lot of stuff that can be clipped. He can only make so many videos a day. Like
I just found out about the clipping economy. I had no idea.
I have a love-hate for the clipping economy because essentially, I don't want to say we started the clipping economy, but we were clipping YouTube videos into TikToks before it became.
You were doing a lot of things before it became.
I mean, I don't know about. I don't want to say like the Tate guys. They popularized like this forced induction of virality. And I'm fascinated by that because like, and you see Hollywood's trying to do it. Like everyone's controlling our narratives, and like it kind of makes me go crazy. Which is like like I get like I start hating content because like I'm a part of the thing. Like I know that if I said the same message in a certain way and I posted it 1,000 times, I will make that message popular. That doesn't mean it's a great message. It just means that I made it popular. And we're seeing that at such a scale. Like, and that terrifies me, but excites me all at the same time, because like, you have a great message. So if you get your message out with more clips, more people faster, you grow and you get a positive thing heard and it benefits. But like, there's a lot of money coming into the clipping economy and these podcasts. Like, I don't know does Dax Shepard really have a great podcast? Or does he have 160 million behind him to put into that podcast?
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see, and this is where I have like, I hate going doom and gloom a little bit, but it's only getting significantly harder for a small business owner to succeed against these people.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that because a lot of big businesses pay me.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no way that I would be able to compete with what they're paying me if I had to pay that.
Yeah.
You know, like even doing this, like I don't, you know, not to, like, he has a salary or he's paid he's paid a certain amount of money per month.
Not anymore.
But like content creation has created a significant employee level expense for every business in America and other countries as well. But I mean, I live in America, so I don't think about America. But like, think about it. Like for you to have, if you're a business and you're like, I want to take this content creation.
He what was like Sean and I clicked right, but he understood how my brain works. I have ADD. Like I don't stop moving. And he's like, hey, he understood how to get me to like, this is how we're going to, what we got to accomplish today in my brain. He's like, and he'll say it out. Right? He's like, he's never met anybody like me that has, that's why I go to wear these headphones. Cause I can focus.
I mean, even you do a lot. Like I say, like you got the merch, you got this. It's like, I think that's cool. Like,
but it's like, it's a nonstop thing. And then my most important thing ever is the biggest role I've ever been cast in is being a dad. That's my, like, and being a husband. That's all I care about. I care about, that's all I want to do is be a dad. And that for me, this journey that I'm on right now, the podcast and this thing is, if this gives me more time with my kids, then I don't care about any, I'll walk away from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like if this was able to allow me to be at home with my kids and be there and not miss, I'm 100%. I'll retire today on acting. Like I would. Like if someone said this will set you up for the rest of your life, I'll go when I want to go do those things. And I don't mean to, you know, like say what is that? Kiss a gift horse in the mouth or whatever it is. Whatever it's like bite the hand that feeds you.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful for it, but you got to go like so. It's fascinating to me. It's like the most important thing to me is being present for my kids and being present for my wife and being a good dad and then showing my kids hard work. And because I come from no money, everything's self-made. I'm very grateful. I can take care of my family, my mom, I'm like literally, I'm an immigrant here. I'm living the fucking American dream. And there's not a morning I don't wake up that I'm not grateful for this. But I feel like for the first time in my life, I've just hit my stride. Like, I'm like, oh, this is what I like to do. This is me. I don't have a studio over top of me. I don't have people saying you got to wear this. You can't say this.
Yeah, you were suppressed.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, I love, and this is hard work. Like we are at it every day. You said at the beginning, like we see each other more. Yeah. You know, all the time. You know, and like it's, but it's at the beginning stage too, and it's like you just have to apply. And the reason I went on that tangent because I'm like, for you have one daughter.
Yeah, one daughter. She's 10.
10. So when your kid is older and she tells a story about dad, what do you hope she says that has nothing to do with views?
I think I've thought about this question and I always struggle because I have a hard time telling people what I do. Yeah. Like, and I mean, maybe you experience that. It's like, because at the end of the day, I just make videos and like in hindsight, like when I think about the videos that have gone viral for me and like what I think have reached the most impact, I just want to be more like, I'm trying to be more selective on the videos that are going viral, like, because I want them to be positive messages. And right now, I just think if I can be known for just helping people make more money with videos, like I'm cool with that, you know, or if I, you know, so I try to stay in my lanes, you know, and at the end of the day, I just think everybody, like business owners in general, I do think the current state of the economy, I think it's really hard out there for a lot of people. And I'm inspired by the fact that like anybody can take out their phone and they can get more business. And that message, that's not going away. At least video's not going away. Yeah. You know, so and also I just like I wanted they probably to say that like, you know, he inspired people to do cool stuff because I've never fit the normal path, you know, and that's not saying the normal path is bad. Some days I'm like, man, I've never fit in the normal path. Yeah, I was like, it'd be really great to just, you know, just go to a job sometimes. But there's nothing wrong with that. People like do that. That's their thing. But that for me, that just that I was like, I don't feel good here. Like I've just always been a rogue or a maverick in that sense where I've been off of, like it, and because I'm all over the place in my own
way, it makes sense in my mind.
Yep.
It's like people are like, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I'll have like 15 things going on in my head all at once, but that's calm to me. Like if it's too calm, I'm like this. If it's quiet, I'm like something is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like calm to me is like just keep it moving, keep it moving.
And I would actually, one thing I kind of want her to like to say in some way, shape or form, like my dad disrupted things.
That's great.
And I've always identified with that word disrupt.
Yeah,
like
that's
and
good.
And when I wanted to, you know, even all the businesses that I've kind of failed, tried, you know, succeeded at, like they were all a disruption in some way. And I love that everybody who's anybody right now has the ability to disrupt, whether it's something that pisses you off, whether it's something you think is wrong, and all it takes to do that is somebody with a little bit of willpower and work ethic to know this is probably going to be hard, and also thick skin to deal with the repercussions of that disruption. But like we live in the best time to be able to do that. You know?
I think I love that word disruption too. I haven't really let it sit with me before, but the biggest change in my life personally came when I was the most disruptive to recognizing bad habits, bad things, being like, I'm going to put my foot down on myself because it's me against me. That's it. It's the person that's like, oh, you're tired. You don't got to do this today.
Yeah.
It's that other being like, no, I like shut the fuck up. I'm doing this now.
Yep.
And being disruptive to that inner voice, that inner bitch that's complaining or that doesn't want to get up and get after that feels tired. Nobody cares. It's one of my favorite things. Nobody cares. Work harder. Cam Haynes.
Yeah.
You know,
it's great. Yeah.
And I feel like being disruptive is, dude, that is such a. I've never heard somebody say
That's
the
like
word
one of the
disruptive.
like we had to do like core values for like my company and my team, and the two core values, like, and I guess the core values we kind of made them core, but it's like the two personality traits that I have seemingly found myself gravitated towards to the people that I enjoy being around and even hired in my company is they're disruptors and they're very precise at specific things.
Yeah.
And like when I look at a video, like I'm not a great video editor, but I'm a very precise video editor. And like I cut out what needs to be cut out. I only say what needs to be in it. And then the disruption is like, it's just like you look at Facebook disruption, Elon Musk disruption, Bill Gates disruption. No matter what side you fall on, anybody, it's like it's all a disruption. You know, and I just that I love doing that. I like being a part of people that do that. And you know, even like your current life, I like I could disrupt my own life and start something new tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's like whether that's good or bad, you know, like, you got to weigh those decisions. But you know, and then just also like, you know, I'm pumped that you said work ethic, because that is something that, you know, a lot of people that, especially when you create content or business in general, like it is a grind.
Well.
And if that's one quality that my daughter sees too in me, and even you know, Kristen, it like you have to be willing to go harder and longer than anybody.
Outwork them in the room.
And that is going to come with zero recognition, zero people cheering you on. You have to be able to, you know, I compare a lot of things to the gym. Like, one, you're not going to walk in day one and bench 315.
Yeah.
Like a lot of reps to get there.
Yeah.
And I like to know, once I have a target of reps, of like, to get here, I need to do this. And that's why it comes down to like, when I make videos, like 5,760 videos will change your life. It's like, because that's a target.
Yeah.
Like, if you give people a target,
structure,
like
hit the goal.
You know, it's like the 4-minute mile. Like, you know, they beat it many times. You know, just like, you know, I remember
It's only impossible till it's broken.
Yep, I remember the first backflip on a motorcycle, Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
Now they're doing triples.
Yeah.
Like it's like always pushing those boundaries, you know, and also like I don't think people realize the grind involved in specifically content, because creating content and videos, like, it does not get the credit it deserves, you know. And as you're going through it, you're doing it, like the amount of hours that you spend filming, editing, talking, coming up with stuff, like you get thrown under of, oh, he's an influencer, or oh, he did this, and it's like, well, no, like, you know, there's videos that I've made that have gotten, you know, tens of millions of views. It took me editing that video 10, 15 times to get that video.
Yeah.
Like, and that's editing it, posting it.
Yeah.
Most people forget that. Like, and then they don't see that rep.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, you know,
no one sees that there's always that. I've said this before. There's that picture in your high school. It was like, it's like of a glacier, and they're like, no one knows what success is when they see the thing underwater.
Yeah.
I will say this though, right? you know, I'm really glad that you flew up here. And I know for a fact you are like to describe you as a disruptor is a perfect way to put it in the best way possible. And I don't think on your journey in life you actually realized what you were doing, but you just have constantly betting on yourself. And I think the more people that will just roll the dice on themselves, be self-sufficient. You know, there's that where people are saying, no one's coming to get you. No one is going to save you. Stop worrying about AI. AI is not going to, figure it out on your own. Get up and get after it. Actually apply yourself. And like you said, every time that you're dealt a card of being broke or hitting that thing, you're like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. And every great entrepreneur that you've heard the story of, everyone sees Elon Musk, he's landing rockets, I think, but it was like that last rocket that landed that he had all his money from PayPal or he wouldn't exist. If that rocket had a fall, it was over.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel being a disruptor, I love that word. It's such a great word. And I'm so grateful for you to come up on the show. Dude, open door policy here, man.
Oh no, like I told you, I jumped on it. I mean, I was texting it. I was like, yo, provide my email. I'm trying to buy a flight. I was like, I don't want to miss this opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. I really know people are going to respond to this, and I really thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. I told you, I was like, I fanboy a little bit. I was like, oh my God, he watches my stuff. I've seen him on that show. But I want to say one more thing just before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because we didn't touch on it. I think people let their circumstances define them too much.
Yeah.
And I pull from my own life experience. It didn't come up, but the last 2 years, if you look at my social media, you would have no idea what's going on behind that.
Nobody did,
and as my company grew, and I mean, you talked about having we're being vulnerable and wanting to share stuff. It's for the last 2 years, 2 hurricanes destroyed my house.
Yeah.
Other than when I posted the original video when it happened, you would have no idea that for the last 2 years, me and my family have been we've moved 4 times in the last 2 years, which is nothing compared to a military. I know there's
but everybody's journey is their own journey.
But
it's real.
When I think of after the first one, it sucked, horrible, boom. Happened again. Then we had a third hurricane, which was Hurricane Milton. I saw this hurricane and, acting on seeing an opportunity when things are horrible. One of the coolest things that I did, I was so frustrated and so defeated by hurricanes after you lose your house twice and all that, just stress with the family and, uncertainty of where we're living in this, which we're still dealing with. I looked at Hurricane Milton, which is Category 5, and I said, I want to make money off this hurricane.
Yeah.
And so I decided,
not today, Satan.
Yeah. So I decided on a whim, because we were dealing with Hurricane Helene, which flooded our house 1 week before Hurricane Milton. We kind of missed the window to evacuate. And it was a first Category 5, headed straight for Tampa. Everyone was panicking.
Yeah.
We had just moved into our temporary year-long housing solution, which was a nice brand new, apartment complex. We were on the 5th floor because I didn't want to be anywhere near the 1st floor. So we were on the 5th floor. And I was like, how can I monetize this hurricane? Out of
love your brain.
But I was out of frustration, anger, spite. Yeah. So I decided on, the morning of, and I was like, well, I'm in a situation that not many people are in right now because everyone left. Again, everyone evacuated, which arguably is probably the smartest thing to do. But I was 5th floor, block concrete building, family safe, losing power a couple days, no big deal. We have food, we'll be fine. Gas, all the cars have gas. We're good. I was like, how do I make this into something great? And so the morning of, I said, okay, well, I called Luis, who's worked with me, and I called my friend Grant. I called most of my team. I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna do something kind of crazy. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's gonna be horrible and I shouldn't do this? And I was like, I'm gonna make a video every hour on the hour for the next 24 hours. Live filming the hurricane from my balcony. And, I did it. And we posted it was over 100 times in 24 hours. It was a video every hour. I took out my phone. I went out on my balcony and I just sat like this and call it if we'd had any other apartment in that building, I would not have been able to do it because the way the wind was coming, the wall was blocking it, so I could selfie and talk to my camera, and you could hear me. And I thought about this after, like, if any other apartment wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I had a perfect vantage point, like, of all the areas of the county, so I could turn and you could see all the areas that were being affected, and it was like picture perfect on that. But every hour on the hour, I did not sleep. Arguably, I probably wouldn't have anyways. Category 5 hurricanes, kind of scary. You know, I talked for 1 minute, just what is going on right now. I documented. And from those videos, we got about 50 million views in 24 hours.
50 million?
50 million in 24 hours.
Oh, geez.
I was on 3 morning shows.
Wow.
Like, and I was almost memed as like Florida guy smoked cigar during I Have Hurricane. And I thought that would have been cool. Yeah. But like that was and you know, it didn't make much money.
Yeah.
But that people remember that to this day. And it's gotten me a business, it's gotten me exposure. And that was like taking a situation, I am dealt this. I could sit in here scared and not do anything and go, woe is me. Oh, hurricane's going to ruin it again. Because for all we knew, it was going to rip the roof off our already dilapidated house that we're going to have to rebuild, you know, 1 week later, you know, and, you know, doing that was like, as a testament, like, I'm just so glad that I did that because it, like, one, it kept me occupied for that time. That was very traumatic, but also like I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain because I was like, anybody else probably would have been like, nope, that. Yeah. Like, I'm going to evacuate or I'm not doing this. But it was like, I just thought it was so cool to also, but it also proved that it disrupted the algorithm because I forced myself to be the, like, well, it was split. There was 2 of us that were like the most popular people on the short form platforms for that like 24-hour period. And it was like myself and a guy in Tampa. The guy in Tampa, Lieutenant Dan, turned out he was like a child molester, like, but he was going mega viral because he stayed on a boat the whole time. Yeah. Arguably cooler than me.
What's funny is I remember your videos now, and I never put 2 and 2 together for your face, but I remember the other video too with the guy in the boat. Yeah. Like I actually, dude, we watched all of this. We thought it was the funniest thing with the cigar.
Yeah, like and there was people calling me a psychopath, calling me, saying I was stupid. Like, why would you ever endanger your family? Because my daughter was like, hi. I was like, say hi. Yeah. Like, it was
everybody's gonna have an opinion.
It was the wildest thing, but like from that, it like switched the gear in my brain, and that's where like I was like, volume works. Yeah. Because in 24 hours, I was able to get more views than I got in the previous 2 or 3 months combined. Yeah. You know, and I was able to use my cell phone. Yeah. With no captions. No editors, nothing but me talking to my phone. And I was like, oh, I can do this. Cool. Wow. And then from that point forward, I basically made the decision, like, let's post 3, like I started upping my production, upping the growth. And like, I mean, if I didn't do that, we might not have been talking. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like, you know, so it's like, that's like what I want people to understand. It's like, it's work, it's effort, you know, but it's like, if you grind it out, like there is a light, like, and it's, you know, and then that's also be aware of like, are you willing to accept like what is going to come at you if you get to where you want to go? And I don't think people do that. Like, you know, you have to have really thick skin to do this. Like, as you know, I mean, it's you need to understand that like it's like a jagged like cliff
up and down.
And that's why I said I joked about the viral PTSD because like when you get a lot, like last week getting 30 million views, like your dopamine's high. You're like, oh my God. But the second it stops, like that was what I learned too after the hurricane was like 50 million views, 24 hours. And then it just stopped. Yeah. Like
you're chasing the dragon.
Yeah. Like, so it's also having certain things, like being mentally prepared for that. Like, cause truly, I don't think anybody would be mad at 50 million views. Like, you know, and I think everyone, whether they want to admit it or not, is striving to get more attention on themselves. Yeah. But like, put some thought into it. Like, like where's this going to go after? Like, I think people should have something. Like, I don't abide anymore by like, you shouldn't sell something. Yeah. Like, you should pitch your shit because nobody else is going to do it. Yeah. Like, put it out there.
Wayne Gretzky thinks that you only miss the shots you don't take.
Yeah. Like, it's just, you know, volume works. It just, you have to contain it because like you will burn out the thing. You probably feel burnt out. Yeah. Like I had to, for the last 2 years, still produce like, you know, I probably post 100, 150 videos a month, which is like fresh creative from my brain. Yeah. Like, as well as working with clients and helping them do it while all of your other life is in uncertainty. Yeah. Like, just like you said, like everyone has challenges and trials and tribulations.
You got to get up and get after.
But like, I know I don't care how bad it gets, I can make a video. I can make one 60-second video a day.
Yeah.
And that will move my business and my life forward. And it baffles me that more people don't see that. Like, and that they just sit around and they wait. They're like, oh, I gotta rent that podcast studio. Yeah. I gotta do this.
Yeah, there's all excuses. I mean, I think if anybody has listened to this podcast today, and if there's one thing you can get from it, is like, you have no excuse. There's literally, if there's ever been a guest on our show that basically says you have no excuse to figure it out, you know. And I think that, you know, is such it's, you know, your ability to find through every, there's a quote I'm trying to remember, but it's like through every tragedy, through every like thing, there's opportunity. Like through like you know, like the hurricane, you're like, I can make this, but there's always some type of silver lining. It just depends on how you approach it. And I think the work ethic and what you put out there, and you know, there's so many people that I've seen through that have done confessionals saying, I followed your plan and I actually am making money. So if you are struck out there in any way, shape, or form, you got to give this guy a follow. Where can everybody find you?
My Instagram's the best one. Yeah. And I mean, Instagram's the baby, you know, it's what, like, I have a $29 digital product. If you want to learn how to post more videos faster, it's very basic. And if you watch enough of my videos, you'll probably get it all for free anyways. But at least I put it in one video so you can watch it in 18 minutes. But yeah, I mean, Instagram, anybody reach out to me, shoot me a DM, I respond. Like, I'm a normal person. But yeah, I mean,
I love it. And what's your agency called?
My agency's called Viral Edits. There's no website because it grew so fast, I never needed one. And,
that's great.
And people just kind of funnel, like, if, you know, you want to talk to my company or me specifically about that, like, you know, there are some criteria. So like, I'm not going to just go take anybody, like, because I don't want you to lose money, just like I don't want to lose money.
Time is money.
But yeah, we're always looking for clients, like, you know, cool clients that want to, like, we will get you a lot of views. Like, that's what we do. Like, and it's different for everybody.
Well, I do appreciate. I know you flew up here. You're catching a flight back tonight, which I think is super gangster. I am super grateful for you making the trip. And my brain, Sean, when you went to the bathroom, like, my brain is just going, you know. And I feel like I met somebody that thinks faster than me. It's really cool.
Oh,
you're a unicorn.
I know you're a savage. So I don't know.
Well, come back again, man.
Appreciate it anytime.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for watching the A.G. Buckley Show. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you Friday. That might be one of the longest podcasts we've done, and it was so informative. I have to like go back and dissect this because there's so many gems. I'm so grateful for Ryan to jump on a plane and come up here. This guy is a wealth of knowledge, and he's so gracious in sort of showing you the skills of the trade. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Do you want to take the knowledge that you're given on something like this, a moment of, hey, here's the keys to the kingdom? Some people will continue to scroll and make the excuse that they can't figure out how to do it. Or you just get up, get after it, shut off your inner, and go post 10 posts a day for 90 days. I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it and see what happens. I'm very grateful for that podcast. I'm grateful for y'all for tuning in week after week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow. It means the world. Let your spirit lead. God bless. I'll see you Friday.